Hi everybody, and welcome to another extra very special Hobby Titans. I think today is extra very special because we're working with one of my favorite materials, pink foam. It has a real name.
Foam insulation.
Yeah.
That's pink.
Poly something?
Yep.
I forget. Usually know it, just forgot it right as we went live. Doesn't really matter. You're new to this.
Yes.
I never get to teach Kat cool hobby things. Today I get to teach Kat a cool hobby thing. I'm really excited. Are you ready?
Yes.
You are worried a little bit about burning your fingers.
A little bit.
Yeah. Great. Okay, let's get creative. Okay, folks, we're doing a little hand cam here on Hobby Titans today. I want to show you guys some cool things we've been up to with pink foam. This board here, Kat has worked on with me before, but I finished a lot of it. There is still some more to do.
Yeah,
right
a few
here.
weeks ago.
That's right, a couple weeks back. I've got some scatter, which is actually going to add a ton to this board, but I want to show off some cool things I've been working on with it. So a lot of this is what Kat and I have previously already worked on. These guys, pillars. We're going to be cutting pillars today. I'm actually really excited to show you guys how that works and kind of talk to you about where you can get these pillars.
Like the
template.
There you go.
The template to cut the pillars. Yeah.
You added sand to this as well too.
I did. That was your suggestion, and you were right. And I can actually talk about the way I did that and kind of like the way I added 2 layers of sand. We're going to come back to this kind of cool centerpiece. Here we go, coming around here. I have this set up as like I was testing it out today to see how it would work for both AOS and 40K. Oh, you can see the trees, not pink foam. I did make some funky desert trees. And here it is.
Cool rock. Yay.
Yeah. Okay, now I want to come back and show the kind of the big centerpiece. I'm really excited about this. And in the links, I'll post where you can get a lot of this equipment. I actually did not do that before the stream, and I apologize, but I will come back and do that. So here is sort of the big centerpiece. I did a resin pour to make this kind of oasis here. I've got some aquarium plants over here.
I was about to ask where you got those from.
I have a funny story for these. I'll come back to it. Here is this cool statue that was the size of like a normal 28 millimeter model. And I've been working with this person on Etsy, and I just messaged them, and I'm like, hey, can you make that like 6 inches tall? And they're like, sure. It's going to cost more, but there it is. So we ended up with this kind of cool tribal statue. I want to tell a story that this is like an ancient human tribe that has turned to chaos now, but here's like their statue before they did that. So I cranked this out over the weekend. I showed a little restraint on the verdigris. I researched how that works, and in the desert, turns out not as much verdigris. Here's maybe my favorite thing about this piece is that I made it so that the top comes off, and there's another oasis here, and you can fight down here. So if you've got like a big scrum going on, or you want to move your infantry into there, you can just take it off, and then later you can put it back on.
Yeah,
so that's the board, and I'm pretty excited about it overall. And I think that once we add the scatter, we will, I don't know, I think it's going to be awesome. The scatter is going to add so much, to be honest with you guys, because, well, 1, scatter does add a lot, and 2, I don't know, it's going to like fill in. I also literally set things up so that one of the scatter pieces today, or when we make the board, one of the scatter pieces can be used to just just heap all the scatter together and make its own set of terrain.
Oh no.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, should we talk about what we're doing today?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got a few tools. Here in the top down, you guys can see what's going on. Oh, no. We're gonna cut some pink foam. Kat's thing looks like it is kind of falling apart, and there's a reason for that we're going to get to in 1 second. That's actually intentional, and we'll come back to it. Here you can see I've got a hot wire table cutter. This is not the Proxen, but it works almost the same as a Proxen. The Proxen is like the big one that everyone uses. This one is called a Hercules. I wanted to get this one because it came with a foot pedal, which I love.
Versus, what does the other one use?
So this one has two options. It has the foot pedal and the non-foot pedal. There's a switch. If I do one, it just stays on. The wire is hot right now. It stays hot. The foot pedal, only when I have the pedal pressed down. Yeah. So that's this tool. The other tool is this guy right here. This you've seen us use on stream before. This is the Woodland Scenics wire cutter.
Hot wire cutter.
Hot wire cutter.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this. I've had this one for 10 years.
Wow.
It's a great tool. It is $40. You guys have sold these.
Yeah.
It's like $40, right?
I wouldn't be able to tell you, honestly. We sell out of them like almost immediately when we get them in. So.
Yeah, it is. You go in to a game castle or like at your hobby store and you see that one. That's the one you get. There's some. They sell one at Michael's that's like. I'm actually going to hold a knife here. It looks like a knife. It's like a handle and then a stick that goes straight out. We've used those before, my club, and they break super fast. I'd recommend not using them.
Ooh, okay. So have you ever used like a soldering tool as like an option to like pick out little things, or would you just rather
foam?
use one of these?
I haven't. I would use this. I'd be worried. Does a soldering tool melt things?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that could be messy.
Yeah. So a soldering tool is like that like metal spike thing. It gets hot on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would just imagine that would be useful for like.
I wonder. So what happens is it some things can kind of like liquefy it and like it makes a big mess.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be curious. So we have a lot of different cutting to do, and we are excited to do this now. Kat is new to this, so we gave her some interesting tasks to start off with.
Yeah.
I'm going to be showing you guys some cool tools, and Kat's going to be mostly showing the Woodland Scenics thing. But we have lots of cool tools here from, I'm actually going to drop into the stream a little bit later, after the stream. I'll drop a lot of links, a lot to Etsy. I've been buying a lot of interesting pink foam tools from people on Etsy that are super cool. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to us about what you're gonna do here.
So my task is to make some different cool rocks.
Yeah.
And so what you have explained to me here is that it is a bunch of layers of pink foam that have Elmer's gluing them together. However, it is very important that it is not set, because if the hot wire tool snags on set glue, it's probably going to break, or the wire is going to break.
It's going to break the wire, which isn't the end of the world. You then just have to reset the wire. That's probably going to happen during the stream anyway on both tools. It is a technique. You don't have to do it that way. Lots of people will let the glue set. You also brought up, like, could you use a toothpick,
like a dowel
like
or
a dowel?
something, yeah.
You can. Again, like, I try not to do that kind of stuff because I don't want my wire touching anything other really than foam.
Okay.
If it goes through wet Elmer's glue, it's fine. If it goes through dry Elmer's glue, honestly, often breaks the wire. Okay. So I kind of do the Elmer's glue, and then, within the next hour or so, cut the blocks.
Right.
It does make it a little harder to cut them because, as you can feel, they're wiggling around.
Yeah.
But this is a rock, so doesn't have to be precise.
Okay.
Kind of the funny thing about what Kat's about to do, you guys have seen, if you do watch Tabletop Titans, you've seen we have these rocks, this style. This is one I made the same way she's about to make it. Honestly, the two big bricks she has in front of her, hold one of these up for a second again, Kat.
Yeah.
The two big bricks she has, here, let me hold one.
Well, I was just going to do like a
comparison.
Yeah.
Is it really, well, okay, this one is three thick and this one is 6. But it might not be that much bigger because we're going to cut away a lot of the top of it.
Right.
And Kat's just going to carve her a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Awesome. Now,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, let me show. If we can flip to, I guess either shoulder or top me. Shoulder is probably okay. All right. The hot wire cutter. I'm going to show you guys a few different things today that I'm really excited about. Thing number 1, and I'll tell you guys what I'm working on. So everything for that board I just showed you is already finished, except for I just need to paint that scatter. Okay, here is thing number 2 I'm going to be working on. Looks kind of like a bridge. Not really ultimately intended to be a bridge. What I'm going to be using this for, I have another one. This one's finished and obviously needs to be painted. what I'm going to be making is a second one of these, and I'll show it. That's the first thing I'm going to do today. And this is for the set Lindsay and I were working on last week. I start to realize, oh wow, with a little bit of pink foam help, we can have a board here. So this is, I've used the wire cutter, this one, the Hercules here. And I've also used, which I'm really excited about, this guy, which is a pink foam roller that puts a pattern into the pink foam. And the pattern we've put here is wood. I'm going to show you guys a couple tricks to get the best use out of this. I actually have a few of these. I have little bricks. I have bigger blocks. We're going to use that one today too. And I have random brick pattern. This one I actually used on that desert board I was just showing you guys. Kind of excited for that. But the wood one is a little special, so that's what I'm going to start with today. A couple other things I'm going to make are this guy. This one was my practice run. This one's going on yet another board that I have in the works, which is going to be like a Daughters of Cain city that will be we'll use a purple mat for, and it'll be like a very purple kind of city. And I don't want things to be too ruined for the Daughters of Cain board. I actually want them to be looking nice. And so what I'm going to do here is, you can see I did use the brick pattern, the big block pattern. That's what I'm mostly using for the Daughters of Cain board that I have in the works. And with this thing, what I'm going to do is I have to figure out maybe like a base here probably for them. They're probably going to go on top of something, like sit on a base. And I'm going to put candles in here. Megan, my wife, has gotten some little candles for her soul blight that were like 3D printed. And I'm going to have them I'm going to get some more, or maybe borrow some of hers, depending how much I need, and put them in there and have like a little soft glow going on in here. And just have them be kind of like an ornamental thing. But you can see with this tool, when I get to it today, you could also make doors, archways. You can do all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. So about the like 3D printed candle stuff. Mm-hmm. One thing that I have done to make candles for dioramas or bases and everything like that is actually take the leftover sprues from kits, because they're round.
Right.
And cut them down and then like melt the top a little bit.
To make a candle.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually really interesting. I'll show you guys one more tool that I'm actually not going to use a bunch today, but I do want to show you. It's super cool.
Ooh, okay.
So this is something I got off of Etsy as well. There's lots of awesome pink foam tools on Etsy. This slots in, and what we can do with this is take a piece of pink foam that is okay in size. And by okay in size, I mean not too big, not too small. I've cut this inch piece in half, but usually you wouldn't want that poking through. You guys saw I had like a rounded piece in. You saw I had like
cool rock.
Oh, in the cool rock, exactly, right. And this is how you get that. You cut in, and you just rotate around. Kat, how are you feeling? First pink foam excursion for you.
It's great. It's great. So one other thing that we do want to address, and you probably can hear it as well too, is that there is a bit of fumes that let off when you are doing hot wire cutting.
Yep.
We do have a fan that is immediately extracting a ton
Actually,
of the
if you go to the
fumes.
front view, we even have a little bit.
Proof. This right here. So that is the, major background noise that you can probably hear as we're doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then we have various air filters. And we've talked about the air filters around the studio as well too. Otherwise would not recommend doing hot wire cutting without some sort of ventilation.
Yeah, you want ventilation.
Same thing with airbrushing and everything like
It's
that.
definitely it's definitely true with airbrushing. But what I will say about cutting pink foam is, like, the second you cut pink foam without proper ventilation, this nothing should smell like this, right?
Yeah, same thing with like working with enamels and stuff and lacquer paints and everything. I find that I'm okay now, but when I work with enamels a ton, even with proper ventilation, even with a charcoal filter mask and everything like that, the moment I take that mask off and I'm in that room, I get a headache.
Yeah.
So
I get headaches from that stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, real quick. I know you're cutting. Can I get the top zoom, the shoulder zoom for a second? I want to show.
zoom.
Yeah, I want to show peeps
Okay.
what this roller guy looks like. So the one I'm going to use, the one I used like here for the Daughters of Cain thing. This guy is this one right here. There's no detail hidden inside on the stone ones, and so they're pretty easy to use. You can kind of just use them and just roll them across. This wood one has two things going on. It's got the plank, the shape of the plank, but then as you can see also,
It's got the wood grain.
there's little wood grain. To get that wood grain, if I were to just take this thing right here, actually let's do it. I can take this thing right here. This is not turned on, by the way. Move this. Okay, if I were to just take this and just roll it across, I'm actually going to struggle to get that wood grain. Oh, it kind of makes a satisfying crunchy sound. I'm going to really struggle to get that wood grain pressed in there. So what I find, cats, what I find I like to do with the actually, when I say what I find, what I really am saying is what I experimented with earlier today and found is what really works is if instead you can get like more leverage on it, and what I mean by that is like literally
Wiggle it back and forth?
No, like, so here, I'm kind of like, I guess I can grab here and push down real hard, but
Some elbow grease into it.
here you really get like this more of a grip, and I can really press down.
Yeah. I was also going to say, like, what if you stand up and push down and, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, like, anything you can do helps, but also make sure you then kind of hold it down here with your thumb as you get close to the edge. And there you can see, like, now you can see the grain.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah. So I do that. Okay. I actually only have one more of these to make here today. I do that, and then what I do is, maybe zoom out here a second,
Sure.
Kat. Thank you. I do that.
Let's go for this one.
Okay. And then this guy's on. I'm going to be using the foot pedal today, which is just nicer than turning it on and off over and over again.
Should have had pedal cam.
I know, pedal can today. Okay. And
But I doubt anyone would want to see how dirty our floors are, so,
yeah. Oh, they might. At least there are no dice on this side of the studio all over the floor. So there it is. Now, then what we're going to do is take these planks that I cut out, and I have these other ones. Now, one other thing I then did to make this a little more interesting, I hope, is as you guys can see, I also then cut some of them in different kind of like different lengths, different widths, so that like what I'm going for here is that you see the grain of the wood, the planks of the wood, but you also see like the actual lines of pink foam, and I want them to kind of work together to create like the illusion of multiple planks of wood glued together, kind of different shapes. Boom, boom, and then this last guy. Okay, and there we go. And so I'll glue that together real quick. How you doing? Should we check? Should we get a producer cam?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, talk to us. How's it going?
So I've shaved all this stuff off. One thing I am noticing is that with how wide this is, it is preventing me from like just immediately going over the top of all of them.
Yeah, you can't.
So I'm just like shaving in angles essentially.
Yeah. I guess I should have mentioned that.
Yeah, another thing that I'm finding is that sometimes it doesn't want to like come off of the wire, which is fun. So I'm having like chunks still left on the wire,
that happens.
then I'll try and take it off, and then the wire's cool already, and then I have to heat it up, and
Then you have to touch it right there. It's a little scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my number one fear today is potentially burning myself, but I am prepared. I did bring Band-Aids. Now, I didn't bring Band-Aids just for this. I am pretty accident prone when it comes to like paper cuts and stuff, but I am prepared. I brought a Band-Aid. We did some practice. We're all good. So
Kat, real quick, yeah. So I want to talk a little bit more about cutting yourself accidentally with pink foam, but we had a super chat up here. I know I want to get to
yes.
as well. Thank you. Oh, this annoying YouTube thing. Thank you, Mad Demon, Zach, Kat. I'm not sure. Is that Liberty Fire style? Is somebody getting in on the Liberty Fires?
If it only was that, then probably I would say. I did copy Liberty Fires last week because Lindsay's first time was on here, and I wanted to, support her.
Yeah, that was very nice of you,
so it
actually.
says, currently working on a desert-themed city board. What is that word? Something?
Sector Mechanicus?
I don't know.
Ruins on pink foam basis? Yep. That's my guess, yeah.
Any ideas to enhance variety besides craters/obstacles?
Yes, lots. Kat and I could probably both talk about this for days. I'm going to let Kat go first, I think.
Sure, yeah.
So, Mad Demon, I know you... Sorry. I know you sent this in real quick. All I was going to say is... I'm going to let Kat go first, and then just immediately talk over. What I was going to say is... SECLMP. If anybody else knows what that could be, let us know, please.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's all. Sorry. Kat.
My number one thing with adding like details is always like if it's a city, then you want to make it seem like people actually live there. So trash is always a big thing. Litter.
Trash is a great detail.
Yeah. Any sort of like litter or anything like that you can add is great. Any sort of like plants is great, but like murals, posters, anything that like gives life to the city. What story do you want to tell with it? Like, is the city only just recently abandoned because now it's become, a war zone? Has it been abandoned for a really long time?
In which case, in both cases, there'd be trash, but it would change, right?
It would. The breakdown on the trash would be different, right? Like with a very active city, with a just recently abandoned because it only just recently became a war zone, that trash would be maybe paper bags, cans, food, stuff, whatever, anything like that. And then if it was abandoned a long time ago, any of those paper products or, compostable products would then be more worn and or not exist anymore. So it just depends on the length of time. Sector Imperialis ruins.
Okay, that makes sense.
So trash, graffiti, posters, anything like that with the city is super important. With desert stuff,
stuff doesn't really weather aggressively in the desert, like humidity wise.
Right, like water wise, but sun damage is a big thing.
Sun damage and wind.
And sand, and so there's a lot of like textural damage. And like sun bleaching is a big thing with desert stuff. The other thing is that you can add is any plant life. So if it's been abandoned for a really long time, then nature will always try and take back over that, unless it is like, like a toxic dump kind of thing. Then obviously
if
not.
you go for something like that.
But
right,
so that's a big thing. Those are my suggestions. What about you?
Kat's suggestions are good. She's giving you a lot of details to add to the actual pieces you're making. I'll go a slightly different direction. I'll toss out some thoughts that I have on what you should add other than just the ruins. So other than just the ruins, what I would really suggest is, I love Kat's idea of nature, and one of my favorite things, I love to make boards where nature is interacting with ruins. I love that look, and that look can happen anywhere. In fact, the board I just showed you guys, that's happening, right? Like, I have the trees right among the ruins and everything. It's a look I'm super into. So I love putting a forest in the middle of my city, and I don't think it would be out of realm to do that in a desert, right? And gaming wise, you want a desert, you want a forest. Most games, you're doing 40K. Forest, like, in most games, forests have their own sets of rules, really, right? So you almost always want a desert to have forests, or any set of terrain to have forests, and figure out how to work a forest in. And by the way, in a desert, that could be like cactus or something, cacti, right? There's lots of really cool 3D printed cacti out there. So I love to work a forest in. Forest, 1. 2, rubble is good. Pink foam is amazing for rubble. The scatter I was talking about, I showed you guys that bin earlier today. That scatter I was talking about, that literally is just rubble that's going to go all over the board. And I tend to like put a base down, so you're doing Sector Imperialis, you're going to put your base down, you're going to put your ruins on top of it, it's going to look super awesome. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a lot of pink foam rubble and you're going to like surround it all over. Like I like to get this unique kind of combination of looks cool and is great for games, where you leave some parts of your board pretty clear.
Right.
But you then group everything else up together. And that's, I don't know, it's a cool look. It brings it to life. Like, I almost didn't show you guys that board today because like, I don't know if I really want to show this board off until the scatter's all done. But you know what? It's kind of cool, I guess, maybe to see the process. And I am excited for how it's going to look once scatter is finished. So, I don't know, what else? Cities. I always like a centerpiece.
Okay.
My favorite centerpieces are usually statues. I get most of my statues, like I was saying earlier, by going to Etsy, finding a cool mini, messaging the person, and being like, hey, can you make that D&D random mini you made?
That 28 millimeter mini.
Yeah, like how much does it cost me if that is 6 inches tall? Right. What happens if you make that 6 inches? What happens if you make that 8 inches tall? You guys have seen a lot of my boards on Tabletop Titans, and have seen that there's almost always a statue that is a mini I found and asked somebody to print up for me. On one of the boards, there's like a lady sitting on a throne. That was literally, like I said, a D&D model that was like the size of just like a normal 40K model. And the person printed for me huge. Usually they're happy doing it because they're going to make a lot more money. And they can be pricey. Actually, that one I showed you over there, I think after shipping everything, it was 48 or something like that. So almost $50 for a statue, but the rest of the board is pink foam, which is pretty inexpensive. So I'm kind of okay with that price point. Kat, can we do a quick top? How are you doing? It's coming along. Let's.
I think good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming along. You
It's
can see it's
looking
starting to
more-
become a rock.
More rock-like as
Yeah.
we go. I think my major issue is like this, so it's obviously going to be a lot smaller than this. I think one thing that. Okay, sorry, I thought I touched glue. I think one thing that I probably would have liked to do is like maybe draw out a rough shape of what I want to do.
Around the bottom?
Yeah. And then like, okay, I need to carve, that, and then maybe like a rough shape of like, okay, this is what it's going to be.
It's not too
like.
late to do that, and you can do that with the second one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm learning as we go.
I'll tell you, I learned something as well. So what I'm doing is cutting these out to make these, which will then go on parts of my Daughters of Cain buildings. And what I'm realizing is I wish when I had cut this out, I had been a little more thoughtful about the spacing and kept it specific. I think maybe I can still get away with it. This one's a little thicker than these two, but I'm really realizing that this is a cool
Wall.
This is an amazing, cool thing to use.
Yeah.
And I should have known that because that's not like hard to figure out.
Right.
So, but you get focused on doing a particular thing, and you might not realize that your byproduct is like kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that one thing I might suggest, if you do want to use it as a wall, even with that like really skinny part, or you can just cut a little bit further into the thicker one, but you can just destroy one of those columns.
I could. I'm trying to make this city, actually. I want to make something... So
recent.
So one of the things, so like some factions in different factions in 40K and Sigmar are like on the rise, others are like on the decline, right? And Daughters of Cain are very much like on the rise. They're spreading, they're building new like shrine cities and stuff. So I kind of wanted to show it not too damaged.
Okay.
And this is also sort of an ongoing thing. Like one of the reasons I got this tool instead of just this tool is amazing for ruined things, rough things, rocks, nature. Is amazing for it. This tool is a little bit better for more straight cuts. You okay? Is it glued too? Oh no.
No,
okay.
I'm good.
But it's still not perfect. It's still not precise, and it's easy to make little mistakes with this thing. So I wanted to kind of step my way up to being able to make things like for the futuristic races that would keep their stuff clean, like Tau and Necrons.
Right.
So I figured like still making mostly stone stuff, but stone stuff that's in good shape is like a good stepping stone for me into like Necron, like perfectly alien metal, like yeah.
Okay. I'm also finding.
Yeah.
What do I do with?
Well, I did put a trash can between us.
Okay.
So there are two things down here between Cat and I on the floor that you guys can't see. One is a bin of more pink foam for us to grab and cut. The other is trash. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Rudy Picardo. As always, Rudy, good to hear from you. Hi, Habitines. I'm in a terminal waiting for my flight out of the country. Although it'll be busy with work and travel, there is wargaming community in Bahrain. Other than the UK, what other countries have you met other hobbyists? This is a good question. You have a ton of answers for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. May I go first then?
Sure, of
okay,
course.
because you have a lot. I have met in the Bay Area is an area where a lot of people will come for work. So I have had the fortune of meeting people who often move here for work and are into 40K. So and many of them are amazing hobbyists. And one of the reasons I'm lucky enough to meet a lot of these people is because of the narrative. I guess we're still pretty narrative, but the gaming club I formed a few years back that Brett runs now, Fault Line, here in the Bay Area. And so we had a really good friend from Germany named Joshua, who's a great painter, that lived here for a while. And unfortunately, right when COVID started, he had to move back to Germany, which was a bummer. They kind of always knew they were moving back to Germany, but like we didn't really get to say bye to him in like a cool way. It was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
So I've definitely met him, obviously my friend Joshua, and then currently in the club, I don't get out to the club as much anymore because I'm busy here. But I know currently there's an employee that actually found out about the club through Megan because it's a coworker of hers, and he's from China. So and he's an amazing painter. Oh my God, he is got 2 different Space Marine armies. Dark Angels is one.
Okay.
Oh no, Grey Knights, and they're incredible. And he's been posting his pictures up, and they look incredible. So here, Saresco just joined Fault Line, and actually, what I mean by that, we literally do this thing at Fault Line, where you have to play 3 trial games to join.
Yeah.
And the trial games are like you go and you kind of get the feel of the play style, and really. We just have this rule, which is don't be a D word, and that is the rule. And like you play 3 games, and if you kind of show up and you're like one of those people that's just like really focused on the game, you're there to play, it's not a social thing for you, you won't get in, right? Or if you go and you're rude or like toxic, then we won't let you in. And the system's crazy effective though, because the more people that do it, the more people that like get into it, and then like everyone who does the trial games for other people has been through the trial games themselves, and so you really just get like great people in the club. Saresco's super cool dude. I'm really excited that he's in it. I haven't been out there yet since he's joined, but yeah, it's very cool. If you do have a group at home, it is a very effective strategy for getting a good group of people. But it is important to have like kind of guidelines when the people show up, because you don't want it to be just like a cool kids club where you're like, hey, we didn't like you, so you're not it. You need to be able to be like, hey, we found that during the games.
It's a club, not a friend group.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's open membership. Anyone can join.
Yes.
But you have to go through the process, and you need to be aware of the process. And that's like you're saying, you can't say, you have to have reasons why somebody didn't. And we always say like, I think we've only ever not let one person in, by the way, in like 6 years. Other people have shown up and like done 1 or 2 games and then not shown up more. And sometimes we think maybe they just were like, oh, I'm not a good fit. And we've, in some cases, the first person who played them was like, yeah, I don't think that was going to go well anyway. So most people can kind of figure it out on their own that like, oh, I might not be a good fit in this group. Anyway, long-winded, but you have, you know, a ton of people because of your painting stuff. Real quick though, pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So not just the painting stuff, but it's also coupled with working at, you know, a board game store that is pretty prominent in the Bay Area. We have 4 locations in the Bay Area. I am at every single one of them at least one day a week.
Every day, all day. You're all 4 of them all the time.
Yeah, I just teleport between all of them. Yeah, it's great. So I'm at all of them for at least one day a week, and so I meet a lot of people, and I make it a point to meet a lot of people and talk to a lot of people. I am very introverted by nature, and so working in the position that I'm in has essentially forced me out of my comfort zone, which I don't. I have no complaints. I always feel like I need to be constantly bettering myself. But so it's with the hobby stuff, with the LVO and Adepticon and everything like that, and being very ingrained in that community. But it's also with the stores as well too. And yeah, like you mentioned, like the Bay Area is a place where a lot of people come for work. We have like, you know, all the huge tech giants here.
It's tech giants, so the people come here, they usually have disposable income, and they're usually nerds.
Yeah.
And so they go to game stores.
Yeah. Facebook, Yahoo, Google,
Yahoo's
just Meta in general.
Yeah, lots of people don't know this.
Yeah, Yahoo's right
like,
down the street.
It's like less than half a mile from our studio.
It will be. I don't think they're moved into the building yet.
Really? It says Yahoo all over.
Yeah. Same thing with the Roku building. I don't think it's done.
Roku's right there too.
Yeah, I don't think it's done.
Oh no?
Yeah, it's empty. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I don't see a lot of cars.
They're gonna move into it. So essentially,
those buildings look beautiful too.
Yes,
I want to move into those. Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, that kind of like drives home the point is.
We have stupid Netflix right here too.
We got Netflix. We have Nvidia. We have Tesla in Fremont, and so like there's just a lot of people who are always coming through, and a lot of international travel and stuff. Yeah. So I've met a ton of people. I have friends, you know, from Germany. I have friends from Australia. I have friends, you know, I've met people from West Africa because of my job, and so it's just they're everywhere.
Wherever nerds grow up and need tech jobs, we have met them.
Yeah. So here it's huge. I understand that, like, you know, we are in a very privileged position of like there's no end to the nerd community here. It's not niche at all. It's maybe hidden. But
I don't know about that. You know what is sad about it though, is that people also leave a lot.
Yes.
Often, because maybe
Brian.
they come here and they work for a company here for a few years, and then they go back to their home country or something like that.
Yeah.
So that can be kind of sad.
Yeah, it's a lot of like, you know, this isn't goodbye forever. Maybe I'll see you eventually at a convention, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've met a ton of people because of it, and I consider myself very lucky.
Yeah.
For that. So. But most prominent would it be the UK and Australia. I think that's the most, as far as like geographical, those are who I've met the most essentially, other than like other Americans. So
Yeah, yeah, and that's actually worth pointing out as well, Rudy. Which is cool about living here is that we also just meet like other people from the U.S. And Canada that are like from other parts of the U.S. or from Canada.
Canada, yeah,
that's really
a
common.
big one too.
And that's cool. And honestly, like a southern U.S. person, Rudy's from the South. Someone from southern U.S. is like different compared to someone from Vancouver, like which is another country, right? Like, like someone from Vancouver feels more like somebody from the rest of the West Coast than somebody from the U.S. South, right? Like the accent's the same. It's like, even though the country's different, it's like,
Right.
yeah, it's Vancouver is like an extension of the U.S. West Coast. Sorry if you're Canadian. I know that I'm not trying to say you're American, but the cities are, the people seem very similar.
Yeah, oftentimes, like, especially if someone doesn't have like a notable accent, I don't then go like, oh, where are you from? Unless they go, oh, I'm not from around here.
There's really like no, like, well, so for a while, I know like journalist schools in the U.S., like people on air used to, study in Oregon and Washington. Like, it's like the least regional accent-y part of the U.S., I guess.
Okay.
And, you know, we have a language school right out here in Monterey, which is right nearby. Yeah, I don't know. Is there like I don't think of there being like a famous Vancouver accent. I don't know if I would know it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you, Rudy, as always. And thank you, Michael Cody.
Yeah, have a safe flight.
Have a safe flight. Bahrain, I'm guessing you're probably going to Europe. That's going to be long. I'm kind of curious how long it is. I'm guessing you're going to Germany or Italy first for a minute and then down to Bahrain. It's awesome to hear that peeps are playing. Peeps are playing out there. Yeah, we got some Time Strain. I've been handling a lot of the Time Strain stuff, and somebody sent me some pictures from Qatar, which was cool. And it looked like they weren't, like maybe they were playing at a U.S. military base, but the venue looked like it wasn't. It looked kind of like it was like a cafe or something.
Yeah, well, actually, right now, one of the managers of our store is on a cruise, but it is also a 40K tournament.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's going on right now.
So that's a thing.
Where is that cruise taking place?
I have no idea. But that was interesting to me, and I've been seeing more and more of like fellow like hobby instructors and stuff like that being like, oh, I'm teaching on a cruise, and this is my paint thing at a cruise. Gen Con just happened as well too, and I know that the hobby stuff was pretty big there, and it's been growing, which is great because Lynn, who is a fabulous person, has been heading that. So, and Gen Con's like a big just tabletop. I think the biggest tabletop.
I think it's like famously like the biggest one or something.
Yeah,
right?
well, it's also where like Gary Gax like unveiled D&D and first brought it to the world and stuff. Yeah.
What was happening at Gen Con? This is not like a dig on Gen Con. I'm genuinely curious, and I'm frankly asking people who are old enough to know the answer to this. And I promise I won't make fun of you for being old enough to know the answer to this. What was going on at Gen Con like before D&D? When you think about the gaming world, you think about things like D&D, Warhammer, Magic the Gathering. That's literally late 70s, mid 80s, early 90s in that order, right? D&D is like late 70s. Warhammer is like mid 80s, and then
Magic is early 90s,
and then there's board games. Like you're gonna say, oh, there's a million board games, and I know that, but like, like what? So like what? Like really like Wizard War? Sorry, I'm using this game called Wiz Wars. Wiz Wars is this almost feels like a Euro game. The oldest game I know that has like the feel like if you brought it to a party today, like playing board games with your friends, no one would be like, no way, this game's from like 1982, because otherwise games are like Monopoly and like, what was going on at Gen Con in 1970 when like the late 70s when Gary Gygax introduced D&D.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Does anyone know? I'd be very curious. Like, in other words, like, what cool... Yeah, and then even Eurogames, like, you know, you think of Catan is like the one that kind of kicked it off, right? I know that there are Eurogames before Catan, but like, what was going on?
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to answer this off the top of my head, but
We're too young, especially you, but also
yeah.
even me for once. Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting to think about what Gen Con was like. Right. Yeah. Exactly. What Seth is saying. Seth, what you're saying is like paper war games and historical gaming. Yeah. Okay. I guess that makes. Yeah. You know, historical war gaming has been like around forever, so I guess that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Scale modeling.
How you doing? Are you getting fumes sucked away from you well enough?
Kind of, sort of. That's also why I moved a little bit closer to
Okay.
this.
Yes, please. That's.
But I am finding that this sort of smells like fireworks a little bit.
It smells.
Interesting.
It smells. It's one. You know, I was thinking about this today. Like these chemical smells that are like they're not as disgusting as like biological smells, right? Like that come from other people's bodies. Right. Those kinds of smells are awful and like make you retch. Chemical smells like gasoline and diesel and stuff like that. Like they don't really smell bad in the same way. But like you're saying, they almost always give me immediate headaches.
Yeah.
And I have to imagine they're way worse for you overall, right?
For me, specifically?
For everybody.
Oh, as far as like health things, yeah, probably.
Like smelling like cat vomit versus like smelling diesel. Like cat vomit's like disgusting for a second and gross to smell, but it can't be like long-term bad for your health to be smelling cat vomit. Your physical health, or your mental health.
I mean, it might be. I mean, ammonia is pretty awful, right? And
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah.
Anyway, just some musings from... I'm going to throw Kat into this group of musings, but really it was me. Okay,
Michael Cody.
Michael Cody. Oh yeah, let's do this. Thank you, Michael Cody. Maybe the futuristic alien race doesn't like symmetry. Just go with that. It's not rational. It's not rationalization. It's meeting reality halfway. Look, Michael Cody, I know you a little bit well enough now to know that you're kind of being a Weisenheimer, which I appreciate about you. But also, you're absolutely right. That has been my approach, Michael Cody, for a long time, which is to have that approach. Be aware of what it is I can accomplish with what I'm working with. But I do want to try to like level up my skills here. Like Kat was talking, it's always good to be doing that in the hobby world, and try to make really nice stuff.
Yeah.
That doesn't look damaged. So yes, Michael Cody.
I want to say weathering is like, it's the oops, I messed up, now this is broken, and I'm going to make it look nice. I think weathering is a good Band-Aid to like cover mistakes. It's really hard to make things look perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that'd be the hardest thing, because anytime I mess up on something, I'm like, oh, that's just weathering. I could cover that. That's fine. But when you're aiming for structural perfection and like, painted perfection, I would say that is the hardest thing. But also, it's terrain, and don't get too down on yourself about it as well. So
yeah, of course. But it is definitely something I want to shoot for. It's a great point though, Michael Cody. And overall, I agree with what Kat's saying. Like it is a good approach. But I don't know. Yeah, I want to try push myself, do something a little more crazy.
yeah.
All right. Speaking of which, I'll show off like Kat. No pressure. No rush to switch the view. Thank you, Michael Cody, by the way. No pressure to switch the view, but I will show off. There's some fume. Get away. Don't want to die. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't want to die. Get away. Okay. Oh, by the way, here, I'll show you guys real quick. I love all the different products on Etsy that people sell for the wire cutters. One of them is like a thing that holds. You guys can see, like, it looks like my fingers are getting pretty close to the wire. If you're a little uncomfortable with that, you can get some of these different products people make. I honestly find that just another piece of pink foam is like my favorite to do this with.
You know, it's almost like working with like a lower risk table saw in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what I've made. So here is my test. I did a couple things with the test wrong that I learned. One is I put the brick pattern here on after I'd like assembled everything, which meant I couldn't really dig down in hard. And here now you can see, even from not the zoom, which don't worry about Kat because it's pretty obvious here. Even from not the zoom, you can see like it just shows up so much better in the one when I could do it press down the whole way. Then I also cut, with the cutout, I put a brick pattern. So now this will look like that, which I think is a big improvement. I could put the brick pattern on here. The way I probably would actually put the brick pattern on here is not with this thing because it'll be like off. It'll look like an early 90s video game where like it's just like a pattern, like a sprite repeating pattern.
Right.
And it won't quite, maybe I might be able to roll it. I could practice that. Oh, let's practice on the test. Let's practice on the test. Here we go. Okay, this is not turned on, so I'm safe. I should be okay here. All right, here we go. Learning while learning on stream together.
Now, was that your main motivation for getting the pedal, was so that it was just safer overall?
Yeah. This could work. What I'm going to have to probably do is use the edge, I think. Yeah. Also, like, the pedal's nice because you can... Oh, yeah. I'm going to say good enough is good enough on that. I like it. Okay, so we're going to do it that way. And we're going to do it now before we start adding more. To answer Kat's question, yeah, the reason was the pedal is nice because when you're actually cutting, you can, first of all, like, if anything happens, you start cutting yourself, burning yourself a little bit, you can just take the pedal off, which is nice. And also, yeah, like you can walk away, and if anyone comes over, or if anything happens, or you know it's off, and you know it's easy enough to turn it on and off. It's just a little switch right here on the side that you turn on and off. But I don't know. I just like the pedal. I like kind of that. I almost just like the feel of the pedal, like knowing that that's like what's helping me cut things.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Not getting like a cool keystone at the top, but I can live with that. There's going to be a lot going on in this board. So if these arches aren't absolutely perfect, I'll live.
Now,
yes.
If you didn't have these like cool texture rollers, how would you add this pattern to it? Would you like use a pencil and like press into it,
yeah,
or a pen or something?
Yeah, I've used. So I have made other things before where literally I just did this with my display board for the Daughters of Cain that I made, where I honestly one of my favorite tools. Sharpie makes a fine point pen. Okay. And you don't care about if this Sharpie is old or not. So literally, if it's like an old Sharpie, it doesn't work anymore, it's even better. But any kind of just fine point tool that's also not like sharp. You don't want to cut into it, but you want to just be able to like scour it, right?
So like a ballpoint pen.
A ballpoint pen is okay. I find that this weirdly the Sharpie one is like the best one I've gotten that can really dig in. Or no, not the fine pen Sharpie, but the fine marker Sharpie. Because what it does is it bevels it, interestingly.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you want the beveled, right? I actually have an example. Hold on one second. It's right here. This is from like, oh wait, yeah, this is good for you. Okay. This is actually from years ago. It's one of the first ones I did. Okay. Coming back. Okay. Oh, I have a funny story about this piece of terrain that relates to you, Kat. Man, everything is just so connected nowadays.
Wow.
Okay, so if you zoom in here. Let's see. Yeah, this right here, I built this piece. I'll talk about what this piece was used for, and because you can see it has sort of an odd shape. It's like this L. This right here was done with the pen I'm talking about, and what I use is a T-square, and I just go whoosh, whoosh down, and you pick how wide you want these. I think these are 1/2 inch, and you can kind of see it'll put like a little bit of a beveling into it, and kind of make them look like tiles more. So that's kind of fun. By the way, what I was going to tell you about this piece.
Right.
So there's this old Games Workshop castle from like forever ago. And I have 2 fun game stories about my castle. My castle goes right here. And this was meant to be kind of like a feudal world. I wasn't playing Sigmar at the time, so it was like a 40K thing. And it was like a castle that goes right here. And it's like the old fantasy games, like Warhammer Fantasy, like single tower castle. Okay, you've seen it before. And I bought it at Game Castle years ago, before, Kat, you were even around. And I got it for like $10. It was like a crazy Black Friday sale. And they had like 4 or 5 of them, and I wish I had bought all of them.
Right.
Because it's kind of cool, but it does look very like terrainy.
Right.
But I still love it. Okay, that's the first part of the story. Full circle, here's the second part of the story. I went to an RTT in Redwood City. Did I tell this story already?
So you said it on stream yesterday.
Yeah, I walked in and I saw that castle.
Yeah. So I wrote it down.
I'm totally fine. It was just really funny.
I wrote it down. I remembered, and then I forgot.
I'm not in a rush. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah. So how big are you on the texture on this?
It's up to you. That's going to be going on the. Do whatever texture you think is fun. You've kind of seen. So this was obsidian, which is like unique, but yours could be something else. I could also do other things to it later, like put a little bit of spackle over top of it. Probably what I usually do is do like micro. What's it called? Not micro, milliput.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I didn't do that in older sets, but in newer sets I've been doing that more to like fill in the cracks. So don't worry if there's cracks.
Oh, okay. Because what I've been trying to do is make it so that there's really it's like almost, oh no, one piece in a way.
I like it. It's your story to tell.
Okay, where this flap isn't there, sort of.
Yeah. I'm totally cool with that. So that one right there is obsidian, and obsidian flakes off like that, right? So I kind of got away with that when I made that one. But you're probably right. Your approach is probably better.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
But yes, Kat, to answer your question, if you don't have the roller, then you can get away with using pens. And you try it out. You'll always have spare pink foam. And so you can try out different pens, different markers, different pointed tools. The GW, I love the GW mold line remover. It's like my favorite Games Workshop tool. That thing scours pink foam amazingly as well. One thing to remember about pink foam is that it blunts blades insanely fast.
Right.
Brett and I used to joke about this too. We have no idea why this is the case. We don't know enough about physics. There's some kind of weird physics thing. I'm sure somebody has explained it to me before. I don't care. For whatever reason, when you run metal blades through pink foam, honestly, a lot of people in the foam cutting community use them and do things with them. This is literally my pink foam tools, and you can see I have mine here, and I have this one that you sit here and break the blade off. It has the segments, and I literally just go. But you go through them so crazy fast. It's like a joke how fast you go through them. You're like, oh, I'll go through one every half hour. It's no, you go through one every foot of cutting through a pink foam. Maybe not even. So
I've never used a hot wire tool before, but I have used a box cutter saw thing. So this is like a box cutter, but it wasn't a flat blade. It was something that I used to saw through it.
Yeah.
And I do find that with flat blades, I want to say the surface tension is just too much on the side of the blades, and it doesn't want to slice through. So you're putting a lot of pressure on it and stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah.
There's reasons. I don't know. But yeah, I've tried sawing through pink foam before. It's not the easiest thing.
Yeah,
do.
I'm actually a total jerk. In the description of this video, I said we're going to cut pink foam 3 ways. And I had this knife here, this bread knife, and I started cutting and doing a little bit before stream to make the rocks that you're literally making right now.
Right.
And I was like, this sucks. This is hard and it's annoying. And I was like, literally, I know that that's what it's good for, is like cutting rough rocks and stuff like that. But I was like, I'm not going to make Kat sit here and use that. She should just use the foam cutter. Honestly, guys, I do not use the knives to cut. I like never use knives to cut pink foam. I don't know. I just don't like think it works very well. Yeah, I agree, Nurgle Matthew. It is like a huge, like, it's a game changer. The one Kat is using is like, it's so inexpensive. It's such a good pickup. And I'm going to be honest with you, like, the one I'm using, for what you get, the fact that you can just make bases for all of your really expensive GW terrain, you can build your own buildings. You saw that board I showed at the beginning of the stream. It was almost totally made from pink foam. What you get is just, like, for this thing, this is, I think, 108 or 110, right around there.
Oh, price range, yeah.
Yeah, like it's gonna pay for itself if you're doing a lot of wargaming and you're doing a lot of hobbying and you want to make terrain. If you want to make terrain, this thing is like, after your airbrush, boom, I say.
All right.
I mean, other than like basic like tools, right? Like things you're gonna have to like invest a little bit in.
Paint.
Well, yeah, okay. Paint is a basic tool, I would say. Like, other than things like paint and awesome like clippers and all that stuff, then I'm like, yeah, next is big investment tools. I don't know, what's like another big investment tool?
The God hand clippers from I think the company is literally called God Hands, but they are
They're just regular clippers.
Regular clippers. No,
No, I said they're really good clippers.
Yeah. So they're single blade clippers. So
they don't put a little bevel.
Yeah, they don't pinch, and I like them a lot. But they're anywhere from, like, if you can catch them on sale, then maybe they're like $40, $45. But normal price, I would say, is like $60.
Okay.
They're the best clippers I've ever used.
I need to get a pair, actually. They're in like that Micro Mark magazine usually, right? I think. I should look them up. I should just get a pair.
Yeah.
The set I bought, the ones I've been using is that AK set you told me to get?
Those ones are good too.
They're good.
So those are also single blade ones.
Okay.
It's just the God Hands ones they're really thin and they're super sharp. But the only thing about it is that you want to be careful with them because they're so thin. They're really delicate. And so obviously you just want to cut through only plastic with them, and you don't want to like throw them around or anything like that because they will shatter. But they're fantastic. I was like at first told like, oh, what do you need them for? Like you can clean it up with just a hobby knife. That's fine. You can get, those flat things. You just cut it and then take your hobby knife and clean it up. And while yes, I agree. However, anything that saves you time on like cleanup, on especially building cleanup,
huge, right? Big.
Yeah.
And also just like some things just feel better, and you just want to use them more, and they just make you hobby more because you're like, oh, I want to use my clippers. Man, I just had that recently. When I was gone, when you and Adrian were streaming, I was out visiting a friend. And him and I like to cook, and he's a lot better than I am at like trying out a new tool. Especially I'm weird. Like I'm literally asking this question of you, like big investment, and I wouldn't say like that's like not exactly what I'm talking. I mean like big, like it takes up space in your life, right? Like it's over $100. It takes up space. Like
probably like a Cricut cutter then.
A Cricut cutter, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a really good one actually. And like a 3D printer, right? Like I'm talking like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
What you're saying is good too. And literally, like I was out visiting my friend, and he just has an amazing microplaner for like Parmesan cheese and like lemon zest. And I was just using like graters, right? But like I used his. I was like, oh my god, dude! Like I need to buy several of these. I'm inspecting the rock. You held the rock.
Yeah, is that okay? Do you want it less texture? Do you want it more texture? Do you want me to cut more off of it? Whatever. I tried to keep the 6 like.
You kept it a lot on here.
Yes.
I'm like, well, the blocks I do, like they're like a fourth of the size by the time I'm done with them. I like this.
I was trying not
this is
to
good.
produce as much
Look,
waste.
this is. I'm impressed. You cut your first pink foam rock.
Yeah.
Now do it again.
Okay.
Unless you want to switch tools, Kat.
No,
Okay.
this is fun. The one thing that I am finding is that my thumb hurts a little bit from pushing up on the thing.
Yeah.
But you know, it's okay.
Yeah. It's a lot better than cutting your thumb off with the thing.
That's true.
Can I show where I'm at with these
Yeah.
guys? Little zoomy zoom.
Sure. That one.
Okay, so here's where I'm at. Now the next step is I already have one here, but I'm going to cut some nicer ones out. The next step for this, and I don't think I'm going to glue these because I might actually make them a slightly different color, is I want to have some things go here, like this. They're going to be thinner. They're going to be set back in a little bit more, and then that's where the candles will go. And that's the plan. But even just these are cool. Look at that. This no, it isn't. Was it this company? Yeah, it was this company. This company makes some really cool stuff. So I'm very excited about a lot of the pink foam stuff. Actually, our old friend of the show, well, still big friend of the show, Brett stopped by today, and we were chatting about some things, and we were talking about just like how great the pink foam cutter is, and how it is sort of like this, almost like this stepping stone up to 3D printing. But we have access to 3D printers here. Not to mention, like, you can just get people to 3D print you stuff all over the internet. And I still love cutting pink foam because it's just quick, it's easy, it's less expensive. It's a great tool. The wire cutter, super big. Proxen is the big one that people use. This is a Hercules. I think they're both very comparable from what I've seen online. I think there's one more up there, right? The yellow one.
Yeah. Someone asked what clippers. They're God hands, like God hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get a pair.
They make other tools, but the blue clippers, the blue handled clippers, are the best ones I've ever used. Ever. They actually cut. They don't pinch the plastic. And so, you know, like when you're like clipping stuff off of the sprues, if you clip too close to the model a little bit, it like gives you that like sort of...
it's a bevel?
It almost pulls out of the actual thing. You get like this weird hole sometimes.
Yeah.
Or there's more cleanup. You have to be like very careful about not clipping it close to the actual piece.
Right.
But the God Hands clippers are sharp and they actually cut through the plastic rather than like pinching it. So, yeah. You
guys are getting to see how this tool works, by the way. They give you a lot of different ones, and then what you do is this is 1 inch, and so most pink foam is sold in 1 inch, and so you put this thing here, you put the shape here, because I haven't really exactly talked about how this thing works. They give you these little, this is all MDF, by the way, you can see. They give you these little things kind of lock it in. You actually, I don't even know that you need these, by the way, but it does make it feel a little more sturdy. I imagine I'll need them the more I push these in and pull them back out. Get a little wear and tear on there on the MDF. So these kind of lock it in place. And then you have your template. And is that guy in? Yeah, he's in. Okay, and then you literally just, is this gonna be big enough? Oh wait, that's not in.
Would rubber bands work? Potentially? Because I'm seeing you like struggle a little bit with locking it in.
Maybe.
Potentially, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
It's in, but they like when you put them in, they're actually already pretty sturdy. Then you take like that, and it's actually in there pretty firm. So then you just cut, and you could use, by the way, you could do this with the type of cutter Kat is using. I don't actually think you need to use the table cutter to do this. And then you do you just slide it in, and you go up, and just be careful because go slow. That was a little bit of a screw up right there, and that's okay because in this case I can fix that. And it takes a little practice. Whenever you have to change direction is kind of the
Right, yeah, because I'm finding that sometimes the wire can like lag behind a little bit.
Yes.
So
Now the nice thing, like for this, since I am going to then be cutting these out, which I need to set up differently, this is like, this is okay, but I don't actually want this for anything. So the nice thing here is that like this came out perfectly, and if I need to clean any of that up, I could. So there's this guy. Yeah.
sweet. So I want to do this because I want to do something other than cutting a rock.
Yes, of course. Sorry, don't cut a second rock. Okay. You know how to do it?
I'm gonna try.
Okay,
I'm gonna try, and
let's
then
see
if I struggle, then I'll blame you.
You can produce or Zoom and show them how this works, show what you're doing. And by the way, what Kat's doing here, again, you can do this on the table wire cutter. You can also do this with the one she's about to do it with. Tell me if it's okay, if it's working out okay, because if not, we can switch.
Okay.
Okay. Because I think I could do this with that cutter as well.
Okay.
Yeah. See how it goes. There's extras.
So I want this pattern on this side. This other side has a different pattern. So from what you have told me is that I stick it in there and then I flip it around like after I cut each side essentially, and that will give me
You're just rotating
pillar.
it. You're just rotating it 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the one I'm going for, is that the side?
This one?
Yes. Yeah. That's
Right.
the one.
Do I bring it all the way up to the edge here?
Yeah, so she's got it flush with the edge. So, no.
No.
Yeah, just go right in where it goes in. They're not going to look perfect and smooth and amazing, especially your first couple.
Right, but so withholding this, I
Oh,
want
you
this
could.
edge to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it won't cut if it can't get in there.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. You want.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I see what you're asking.
Okay.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's get to...
Vincent, there's fan stuff. It's not getting too late. Sometimes we go too late, though. It is true. Yeah, we'll do fan stuff in a bit here, Vincent.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fan stuff. It was a cat day, and you guys know how she gets.
I maxed out the file.
Thank you. I'm happy to
yeah.
read this, Kat.
Okay.
Thank you, Noah. Greetings, Titans. Any tips for highlighting, weathering gold for my sanguinary guard? Having a tough time with this. Also, favorite chocolate. The mouse cursor. Favorite chocolate too, but on a s'more. Smaug updates. Stay creative. Thanks so much, Noah. Lots going on here. Let me give you a Smaug update first. Among the Titans personnel, we are insanely busy the next 2 months. Smaug really is centered often around, or not often, but currently around Megan, my wife, who is the person that's going to be doing most of the work on it. Megan is joining me in Nova, of which her and I are going to be on the East Coast for about 10 days at the end of August, early September. Then when we come back, we've got her birthday, we've got our wedding anniversary, and we've got my birthday, all in September. There's Adrian's birthday, there's Mel's birthday. There's so much going on. We realistically, the next step is we want to actually have Kat help Megan build Smaug.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know that we're going to get to that until October. But we will
Which
post...
is my birthday.
Oh. Well...
I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. It is my birthday.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, so we won't do it like on Kat's birthday weekend, unless that's what Kat wants to do for her birthday. So yeah, we obviously we don't just cancel everything for birthdays all the time. I'm just tossing that out there as a fact that like there's a lot going on. And Meg's super busy with work until around then as well, I think.
Yeah.
So it's kind of on her schedule, and that's what I'm basically decreeing is that her schedule is super busy.
Yes. He's here. We have plans on who is going to help who do what.
Yep.
But it is Meg's thing, so obviously we, need to make sure that she's a part of it. She has a completely different job, so.
Yep.
He's here. And then, I will be helping her assemble it because it is a resin model, which is where majority of my I guess, expertise or like.
Well, you're certainly better at than me. I hate wrestling.
What's the word that I'm trying to think of? Experience. There you go. Is in. So, you know, he's okay. He does require a little bit of cleanup and a lot of gap filling and stuff. So, you know, we want to make sure that it's done right. So, yeah. Big thank you to.
Wait. There are like 2 more parts to that question we got to talk about.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sanguinary weathering. Yes.
Tips for weathering, highlighting weathering gold. I have some thoughts on this, and then we can get your answer and we can get my answer.
Okay.
Okay. So one of my favorite gold recipes is that there's 2 variations on it. So you use like whatever gold you're going to use, and then the next thing you do is you wash the gold. And there's a couple interesting ways you can wash gold. You can use like a brown, like Seraphim Sepia from Citadel, or Reichland Flesh Shade, a little more red. Seraphim Sepia is more yellow. I don't know if I'd use Agrax. It's kind of like a neutral brown, but it could work probably. I wouldn't use non-oil personally. But the other really cool color to wash gold in, that's looking amazing by the way, Kat. The other cool color to wash gold in is purple. Purple will give it like this regal, interesting, except for, what, did you do something?
I messed up on this one.
Oh,
that was my first side.
That's
though,
okay.
So.
You should see some of, that's like within the realm of acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I love washing purple and gold.
Yes.
Gold and purple.
Yeah.
But you can do browns. Browns can be interesting too. I know Adrian likes brown. I think he uses Reichland or Seraphim or Agrax. I'm not sure. I'm not saying gold is the only way to go, but it does make it look more like deep and regal, and also, but not like too antique, like it's been neglected.
Yeah.
And then after that's washed, the next step, there are 2 next avenues you could go, and you could also combine these 2. So first, you could, if you want it to look sort of vivid and like it's in pretty good shape, you could wash it with the same, or dry brush it with the same gold you painted before you washed it. This is one avenue. The second thing you could do is you could dry brush it with a silver. This is going to make it look more, again, more depth and more lit. And then the third thing you could do is wash it first with the gold that you started with, and then you could wash it with like a silver. Or excuse me, not wash, dry brush. So wash purple, dry brush gold and silver, or just one, and try those out. And Sanguinary Guard, yeah, any of those could look good on that. I mean, it's a Space Marine in gold armor. What are you thinking? What do you like to do for gold?
Yeah, so I like, anytime I'm going to paint gold, painting purple first. Because it makes it look more rich in a way.
You actually like paint the purple under first.
Yeah. So that is my under paint.
I don't do that, but that's good advice, I
gold.
think. Yeah.
The other thing is, I don't cover all of that purple as well too when I go back and paint that gold. And so essentially the purple is like my shadow. In a way, and if it's too strong of a purple, then yeah, I will go in and do like a quick wash of gold over that just to make it look more gold. But that is essentially my shadow. Oh my gosh! Wow,
that's pretty good.
So these little like nubby parts are like what I keep messing up on.
They're very hard.
But I'm gonna be proud of this.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
I give it a A.
The other thing is that you can also look up how gold tarnishes as well too in different environments.
Yes.
If it is touching skin, often then gold essentially tarnishes. When it tarnishes, it turns black, which is why the purple is great because it makes it look darker without actually using black. If you want to make it look like really gross and like it hasn't been polished in a really long time, then paint black over it. I think that would be fine. And then to highlight it, I essentially will highlight with just another another like lighter gold, or I'll mix some gold and silver together and then use that as a highlight. But I don't like just using straight silver.
Yeah.
So
it's a look, and it is pretty. It can be pretty aggressive. Yeah. All of those things, Noah, are just like things to try out. I'd try them out not on your actual models, and just get something down that you like. Final part of Noah's question was favorite chocolate to put on a s'more. This is great. This is actually a very interesting question. Kat, are you a s'more person?
some more.
S'mores.
Okay.
S'more. Sorry, I'm saying it a little weird, maybe. Yeah. S'more.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah.
Are you?
I am. I love s'mores.
Okay.
And I like never make them. We never have them. They're very American. Like I learned that they're like insanely American. Like non-Americans are like, what are you talking about? Often, I think they know more now, but and they're often like cited on like those articles of like best American foods as like something like people come over and try and they're like, what? This sounds disgusting. And you try it and they're like amazing.
Oh, like the like deep fried peanut butter jellies or stuff like that, right? Deep fried pickles.
Yeah, deep fried pickles are okay, but they're also kind of gross. Conceptually, they're grosser. S'more's not really gross conceptually, right?
No,
it's like it's fine conceptually. It's not offensive. Deep fried pickle is a little offensive conceptually.
As far as like just like chocolate goes, yeah, I like Dove chocolate.
So you're supposed to say like milk chocolate, right? But you definitely can do.
I'm not a fan of dark chocolate.
No. Oh, you just don't like dark chocolate?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just in general.
Oh,
so.
Okay. I was gonna say you can actually do some pretty cool s'more shenanigans with
Schmanigans.
S'moreanigans. You can do some pretty cool s'more shenanigans.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
With doing some different cool, like chocolate flavors. And if that's, I think, what you're getting at, Noah, I'm totally on board with this because lots of people. I worked at a summer camp. That's where I met Meg for a few years, in kind of like another lifetime at this point. But and one of my last years there, I was the unit director. So like, I was the person that would get to like drive out to the grocery store and get stuff. And I would get like weird different chocolates to make s'mores, and it was amazing. And you can like do the cool stuff with graham crackers too. Like you can use like the cinnamon graham crackers and do like a dark chocolate, or you can get like a Mexican chocolate with the chili powder in it, the chili pepper in it, and do like cinnamon Mexican like chili pepper chocolate and like the marshmallow. You can get pretty creative. They're amazing. But I do love s'mores. But yeah, I guess I don't really have like an avenue to make them in my apartment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, you can just microwave a marshmallow.
We don't have a microwave. I don't use a microwave.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
So I can't do that.
Yeah,
I think that's the only reason I should get a microwave.
I used to go camping every year. That stopped. But yeah, I love s'mores. But it is really just strictly like we got a plan for this. Like, this is what we're going to do. Kind of thing, or if you have a friend who has like a fire pit or something like that, right? But yeah, I just like normal s'mores, but I do like Dove chocolate. I think it's it melts nicer in a way, more evenly.
Okay.
But it's also a thing of like if I have too much chocolate, I'm just not into it. So I'll probably cut one in half. I prefer more marshmallow than chocolate.
I see. I made a oopsie when I did these and kind of ruined them for myself. So I need to cut a couple more out.
So you're a fan of like just different chocolate, rather than just like milk chocolate.
Yeah, just like doing them, just like doing crazy s'mores. Like it's fun, right? I'm always a big fan of like taking like something that like it has like a way of doing it and just like trying new things out on it. And oftentimes it tastes amazing, right? You could also a couple other cool things you can do with s'mores. You can put a little bit of peanut butter on it. That's pretty amazing. Get a little chocolate peanut butter thing in. You can also do other things like put like jellies and stuff on them. Super cool. Yeah, lots of.
Now you would just get a jar of peanut butter and put peanut butter on it rather than use like a Reese's or something.
I've never used the Reese's, but you could try that. That would probably work. That would be a different flavor.
Right. It is different peanut butter,
It would be
different
good,
chocolate.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably be amazing.
Yeah.
Mint. You could do
Ooh,
a
like
mint.
a York peppermint patty.
A little mint thing.
That
Yeah.
sounds good.
I mean,
I'm down. I'm into this. Thank you, Brent. Hi, Titans. What is a hobby skill or technique where you would like to grow or further experiment? For example, I am using more oil paints lately.
You first.
Ooh. I want to get better at painting like faces and skin. So I bought a bust from Journeyman Miniatures, and it just recently came in. Because I bought it during Adepticon, but they had sold out by the time I like got the chance to go to the vendor hall. But they were offering free shipping and the Adepticon price if we bought it online like that weekend.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it just took forever to get in, which is fine. I don't mind. But it's the Shinobi bust from Journeyman Miniatures. But it's this like samurai girl. And she has like beautiful patterned clothing and stuff, but it's that one. I want to get better at painting skin, so I guess it would be like using oil paints and stuff like that. But a lot of underpainting stuff. I want to get a better understanding of light, I guess, is like the broader thing. And I've talked about this before of like what my goal is with like light and like light reflections and refractions and everything like that, and bouncing light and all this other stuff. So I guess light as a whole, but I'm focusing on different things. I think my main one is skin right now, and then I want to get more into making, I guess, more what would be the right word? Atmospheric pieces. There you go. So using light.
Yeah, it's somewhat related, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Honestly, oil is one of mine. I will say, speaking of Brad, he was here today, like I was saying, and him and I were chatting, and he was talking about how he's been using them a little bit more, and he was like, yeah, I need to work with them more, but he was like, kind of have this one observation that I've also had with them, and the limited use I've had, and seeing other people's stuff, which is like, there's a lot that you can just do with acrylics. And like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I understand oil also has a different effect, and I think probably having an approach that like you have where you have an exact goal with it for something like a bust where you're blending more, but like, I'm not gonna like do crazy blends with them. So like when I'm painting whole armies and doing faces, like, so I've been thinking about that recently. It's funny that he was in here and he was talking about that, because I was literally thinking the same thing. I was just like looking at some different things that were oil painted more. Here's what I will say. There's this guy, I always forget his name, and I talk about him all the time. A lemon something. On YouTube, he's like, not YouTube, Instagram. His like Instagram picture is like a black and white picture of Nikola Tesla. Do you know who I'm talking about? Yeah. That guy, and he always does like inks and white, right? He does like, he always paints that way. I'm more interested in that, like, cause it's a good stepping stone for me because it's airbrush, and like I feel confident with an airbrush. So like, I kind of want to like paint more where I'm like using my favorite new paint, aka titanium white, like over a very dark color to build up, and then going over top of it with an ink.
Okay.
And honestly, I think like a Space Marine chapter is probably one of the most just like simple applications of that.
Right.
So I'll have to paint a Space Marine chapter at some point, which could be cool. You're going to say something about my take on oil paints, I know, compared and enamels and oils compared to acrylic.
It's a hot take. Well, because it was also a thing where like they have different applications. If the properties of oil paint isn't what is interesting to you when it comes to oil paint, then yes, there's a lot that you can do with just an acrylic. But the thing with an oil paint, and one thing that is like both a pro and a con about it, is that it takes forever for it to set, and so you can move it around. You can take it off. You can, do a lot with it, and do a lot of like really translucent layers and stuff.
Which I have to imagine is also for like busts, right?
Right. It's really good with skin. Oil washing is also really great as well too, because you can do a lot of cleanup with it. It's super easy. It's easier to clean up than with an acrylic, because you're actually just taking the product away rather than like repainting something that you've painted over. So.
Sorry, and I should clarify that in both Brett's case and my case, we were actually talking about oil washing, not painting with oils and enamels. And saying that like, if between like washing something with an oil versus washing something with like an ink or an acrylic or whatever, there are some, again, like, yes, it has some cool elements, but also, some of it can be accomplished with an acrylic.
Yes.
The dry time is what makes things compelling, and I know, and I'll also say this about oil washing. So the thing I got to oil wash, who was this from, by the way? I can't remember.
Brent, I believe.
Brent. The thing I got to oil wash is these ash waste nomads from the Necromunda guys. I wanna paint them up and then oil wash them. And a lot of people use oil washing in miniature wargaming as a shortcut. Because you just slop it on and then you wipe it off, right? But I find that oil washed armies, I don't like. It's usually not my painting style. My painting style is that guy on Instagram where things are bright and illuminated, right? You have more than like. I don't love the grimy painting style. Even like when I see like my favorite Nurgle armies are still usually vivid bright green.
So you can oil wash over that. And the thing I like about it is that you get more control than you would with an acrylic. So one thing that I talked about with Adrian last time was, and then one thing that I talked about when we were painting Adrian's war dogs, was that he had this whole concoction where you take the powder pigment, you take this paint, you mix it up with water, you slap it on. You can make that exact thing. You would just use an oil paint, and then instead of water you would use mineral oil or mineral spirits, and it allows you to then it allows you to then slap that concoction on, but then you take a makeup sponge, soak it in mineral spirits, and wipe away what you don't want. And so if you just want to get it into the recesses, that's essentially what that's for, which I like. It gives you more control. So.
Yeah.
Which you can't do with an acrylic.
Yeah.
Like if you got that acrylic in places that you don't want it to be in, unless you were really fast acting with like a wet brush or something, that's on there. You'd have to paint back over it in order to get.
Which honestly is what I've done before. Is like I have a wet brush or like a wet Q-tip, and I depending on where I'm at, I do just like clean up acrylic real quick. But you're right, and it's not. This isn't me saying it's not something I want to tackle. So in this regard, I actually have the same answer as. Oh man, I messed this thing up. This is actually this one's kind of hard.
Yeah, I'm finding that your wire keeps sticking.
Yeah, I'm wondering actually if your tool is better for this than my tool.
Oh, did you use the handheld to cut
today?
out the stuff? Yeah.
The test one? Yeah, I don't know. Can I? Oh, see, this is also the problem. This is actually probably better. No. You know what? I think this is gonna be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think I planed this guy down too much, and I think that was actually a mistake.
Yeah, there's pros and cons too. I want to say both mediums. There's definitely a
like a reason to use
yeah,
it, right?
it's a time and place thing. It's not just I'm going to use oil paints just for the sake of using oil paints. There are benefits.
I'm not. I guess I will say I'm not the biggest fan of them as used. Or oil wash is the shortcut. Because I tend to find people are like, hey, here's my oil wash guard army or Nurgle army. It's just dark, right? So maybe I'm just like citing a lot of misuse of it, I guess. or not the best use
I would
of it.
say it's just not understanding, and until you use it,
Yeah,
and until you get really used to it, then and with Brett, like maybe that's what he's finding, because he is using them, and that's his personal take on them. But there are reasons why people use them. But it is also a personal thing. If that's not what you're into, and if that's not your painting style, then you don't force yourself to use it beyond just trying it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because everyone is like, this is amazing. If that's not your own personal thing, then that's not your own personal thing. So, yeah.
I am.
Speaking of Brett.
But I am excited for trying it out, and I think I'm going to try them out on these Ash Waste Nomads, but we shall see. Terrain is probably a better first application for it.
Thank you, Nerdatronic. This $5 is for a cat for the face when Zach said some more. Thank you.
More. Did I really say that weirdly? I guess
some more.
Some more.
Well, I get it that that's what the word is like
some more.
A conjunction between some and more, but it
You're like, but you don't have to be a psycho about it.
No. I've been told that my reactions are great, so I'm glad that people are finding them entertaining.
S'mores, yeah.
Thank you, Nerdatronic. All right. What do you think about getting into some fan stuff?
Yes.
I think the fumes are building up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. We're moving along pretty good here.
All right, cool. So let's get into some fan stuff. Yeah. So this first one, I want to say that you'll probably recognize it.
Oh yeah, here's Meg. Yeah. So Meg has been cruising along. Look, this army will be on Tabletop Titans in the not too distant future. And we have some exciting plans for this army. It's going to be, on some games, but it's going to be on some kind of special games too in the near future. So very excited for this. So she's got the Rat Prince and Lady Annika. These are the Vikros dynasty characters that you don't always see. Everyone takes Radikar and Belladonna, and for good reason. They're super cool and they're pretty good in game. But these two are crazy and fun. Rules-wise, I love the Rat Prince. He's super fun. He's pretty pathetic. You just throw him in and get him killed. And then every turn for the rest of the game, at the end of the movement phase, I think, you roll, and on a 4-up, he just comes back anywhere on the board. Because he's actually a were-rat. And like when you kill him, he just turns into a pile of rats and like runs away and then comes back later. How cool is that? And he does that all game long, and you can keep rolling all game long. So that you cannot get rid of this guy. Super fun. And you're just like not incentivized to even interact with him. You're like, okay, here's this little like twerp, like he doesn't do much, but like if I kill him, he's just gonna come back.
He's just annoying.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff can win you the game, like late game in a close game. So really excited, and she did a good job on him. But I think she did an even better job on Lady Annika. Can anyone tell?
Cape, yeah.
Can anyone tell what the mask Lady Annika is holding?
Oh, is it special?
Yeah. You might not have the best view of it here, but it is based. It is from something. So, big props to the first person who can tell me what this mask is from. I got it. I couldn't believe I got it actually. But I also know Meg well enough to know like why, like she would have picked this mask, based on her.
I'm gonna go look at it really quick.
Based on her interests.
Oh.
You know it?
Is it the do you want to play a game mask guy?
Saul. Yeah, it's the guy from Saul. Yeah, Jigsaw. Okay.
Yeah, I think the red swirlies on the cheek like
OBS,
super give it away.
OBS? Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to look kind of close, but it's super cool, right? Okay, everyone got it. All right. Yeah, she looks great with, and the mask is like, it's just perfect for her too, and so really cool.
Now she can ask every single time, hey, do you want to play a game?
Yeah, very proud of Meg for these. Other cool fan stuff? There's like so much.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Let me not break this wire by pulling too much. This. Oh no, I had it. I had it earlier. I knew what it was, and I completely forgot. But this cool tank.
This is a Land Raider, right?
Sure.
And yeah, it looks great.
It's ringing 0 bells, but yes.
Yeah. Land Raider, it looks awesome.
Yeah, I liked the decals and the details on it. There's a bunch of different pictures of it from all these different angles and stuff.
Yeah. Is a weathering gun going here in the front?
Yeah,
it's a grimy oil thing.
It's got like rust spots on it. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. It eats through it, but it's also subtle enough because it's red on, like it's red rust on top of a red paint job. So yeah.
I like it. Brad, that Land Raider looks toughness 9. Yeah. Confirmed. We got it. It's a Land Raider. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kat
awesome.
and I.
Thank you.
You guys tried to trick us with Space Marine things, but we got it.
I'm trying.
A Heck Drake, as we like to call them around here.
Yeah.
Whoa, what's going on the inside panels of this?
Like lightning or something,
okay.
or runes or something like that.
Is this like a brown or a reddish brown?
It's I want to say the inside is black and then the outside trim is like a brass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that's a weird question to ask, but from where I'm looking, it almost looks like kind of brownish. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this looks great. I love this model. We have one for the Alpha Legion that I need to paint up.
Ooh.
So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, it's a cool model. Like a flying metal evil dragon.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
It's super cool. And I like seeing everyone's like different takes on it as well too. I know I've talked with someone who wants to cut out all the different inside, like essentially just leave the trim and then put like stained glass looking stuff in it. And I'm like, that's a lot. But I want to see it.
You know what you could do? You know what I found? I've been painting up the Chaos, the Alpha Legion, and on smaller levels like this, one thing I found is that it actually, normally we say paint the color, then paint the trim, but I actually found that using the Minotaur ghost tints and taking a brush and like dropping them into these ones might be, they have to be small, they can't be too big or you'll get like streaking, but these ones might be enough where you paint this thing the color of the trim, if you want to do the stained glass thing, and then drop in different Minotaur ghost tints. I actually think the area where you want them to kind of pull can't be too big.
Yeah.
And this looks like it's close.
Yeah, no, they actually want to cut out the thing and have it be like see-through.
Oh, that would be nearly impossible.
And put like little plastic sheets
that
and stuff.
Would
yeah.
Be,
I think it'd be cool. I think it's possible, but it would just take a lot of work.
Oh my
and
gosh,
end up looking like really, really, really messy.
Man. Look, you know me. I always say anything's possible. That sounds messy, right? Messy, like it would break. So that sounds. Oh.
Yeah. But I don't know.
That could be cool though.
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, that would look amazing.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
Oh, these guys look great. We've been seeing. Do you remember who this is? We've been seeing just beautiful Heresy white scars for weeks now, and it's the same person. I always forget who it is, because I picked these last week, and I think we had something from theirs last week too. They look crazy good.
Yeah.
This is
we were just talking about 30K earlier too.
Yeah. This is like a color combination you like too. You're like big into red, black, and white, right? That's a kind of a cat.
Yeah, red, black, and white. Yeah. And pink. Yeah. Yes. But pink is just red and white mixed together. Broken Chef.
Flesh Eater Quartz.
Yeah.
This is actually another, his are looking great. This is actually another army. We have, Bridgers assembled them. We will be featuring them on the channel in the not too distant future as well, after we either paint them or borrow them from a friend of ours who has a beautiful army. This seems like an army that is also right for oil washing. These like little ghouly guys.
Yeah, well, they're all skin. So, and oils are great for skin. Yeah, I agree.
Broken Chef looking good.
Yeah, these are awesome. Are their bases supposed to be blue? Or?
I mean, they can be.
I was just assuming like, I wonder where the blue is coming from, because I think the blue bases actually work really well with the skin, and that was like, oh, okay.
Blue, yeah,
that's
I
really
love
cool.
like blue and tan. Right?
Yeah.
Is this Abaddon?
Abaddon.
Yeah. It's a great model. It's a great paint scheme. I love the snow base.
The snow is good, yeah.
Snow bases are they actually take a little practice to get right.
Yeah, because sometimes they look like sugar.
Or like paste.
Yeah, something. Yeah, but this is like nice, like frozen snow,
Yeah,
which
this
is
looks
awesome.
good.
Yeah, I also like how dark he is, just in comparison to the like super stark white base as well too. I think that's
I
awesome.
love a good base model contrast actually.
Yeah.
And I have to say that he looks very dark, but in this way that's hard to achieve, where like everything's still there, if that makes sense. Like it's not lost in the fact that he tried, like this person tried to paint this model dark and succeeded in also showing light
Yes.
while doing it, which is
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
That's something I should get better at. by the
Achieving
way.
good contrast on your miniatures.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also something that's pretty difficult as well too, because I find that people try, like, it's hard to push those values because they don't necessarily know where to go other than adding white, but adding white isn't always what you want to do. So, yeah, this is really well done.
Yeah, looking great. Oh, these sisters, right? I gotta get closer to look at this one. These are like the Pentium engine thingies. Oh, there's like a little upgrade on these guys, right? There's like a little sarcophagus that they're in. Is this what the model looks like, guys? Because this looks amazing. I love this thing. Oh, these bases are super cool too.
I like the bases a lot. The bases are really cool. And if they are sisters, then it's a different paint scheme than I've seen.
It's like very
them.
silver and blue with like the fires.
almost like Stormcast a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, this looks great. These look amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually love these models.
Oh, Vincent is saying that the Abaddon is, I believe. So, awesome
Oh, cool.
job,
Awesome, Vincent.
Yeah. Yeah. People are saying that they're Kitbash sisters. Awesome.
Okay, yeah, the fronts are amazing. Like these like little sarcophagus. Pretty cool.
Sarcophagi?
Sarcophagi, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, these are really cool. I like the bases a lot. But the paint scheme and the bases makes it look very fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes it, I mean, like, it is kind of an insane fantasy army in some ways. Right?
Yeah. Terrain.
Oh, you showed this. We were looking at this.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Yeah, there's a couple different shots of it. There's ones like on the inside of it as well too. And I believe that this isn't yet painted. I believe that's what the person was saying. But the amount of detail and weathering and everything that goes on before you even like slap paint onto something, I think this shows it off really, really well. So
Yeah, like, right. And admittedly, I tend to not make terrain like this. I tend to make terrain that is a little more modular, and I worry how well it'll hold up and how well it'll transport. But I do wish I could make some more terrain like this.
yeah.
One day when I'm a homeowner, I imagine I'll make like a set that stays in my house or something, and I can do this kind of cool stuff. And there's certainly ways you could get a happy medium. Like he's got this kind of like pile of rubble, and certainly you could make that rubble have areas in it that is like staggered enough that models can go up it, which could be cool. But when you can just kind of go all in on the diorama thing, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, great job on weathering. And as far as like everyone who is asking about like details and stuff that you can add to it, dirt is a big thing, but also what's in that dirt. Is it, bones? Is it trash? Is it broken pipes? Is it broken pieces of the building?
Rebarb is like cool.
Yeah.
Concrete blocks with rebarb is always like a cool look. Yeah.
I've taken paper clips and like bent and twisted them and shoved them into columns to show that like the
They
rebar.
look like the rebarb. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah, this is super cool. It's just like a awesome painted Imperial Fist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the little what's that?
Barbed wire.
There you go, barbed
Yeah.
wire detail. There was another one where they were building a terrain piece as well too, that had a bunch of barbed wire running through it, and so I thought that was really cool. But I liked how dirty the yellow was on this. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, without looking like too dirty. With like still, I knew
Without
this
it
was
looking-
Imperial Fist. Like it's still yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Which is actually not super easy to do, right? Like it's easy to kind of like cover yellow up.
Yeah.
Crisis suit, far side,
Yeah. I liked the
far
weapon.
sight.
I like the
Sorry,
weapon
not
on
the
it,
Gary.
even though it blends a little bit in with the wall. But I liked it a lot, and how clean everything was. I thought that was good. But the little tiny little bits of weathering on it, I think are great. It's clean enough to be like this is Tau, but you know.
Exactly. I like my
Yeah.
Tau weathered this way as well. Little nice little OSL work here too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah. Great job.
Yeah. Oh, this guy's mount looks so cool. And I love that the plate on the front is just like such a subtle but attention-grabbing detail on this model. The like plate on the side.
Yeah. I really liked how the blade is, and it's
That's really
like
good.
it immediately draws your eye to
Yeah.
the middle of the model, and then you get to explore out from there. But the base also was super well done. Just everything about this I liked a lot. And there's a couple different pictures of it, but that blade was beautiful.
This looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The blade is really good. And you're right. It's just like in the middle, like boom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Now, this person said that this is a fully scratched built Mordheim table
Okay.
that they're making.
That's
so
cool. And is this, yeah, it's like going to be foam board. I'm actually curious if I've seen this on this like pink foam group I'm on Facebook, because people do some wild, crazy stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people carve their planks of wood. I got this thing that like presses them in. But lots of people carve planks of wood out, like individual ones, like they've done here. This looks
Right.
amazing. I would like to know like some of the things, tools and materials that are in use here at Polychrome. But this is really cool.
yeah, this is super awesome. And the fact that it's going to be a whole table, it's all scratch built,
Yeah.
everything. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, here's our boy Belcor.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
want to
like-
paint him. I
I
want to
know-
paint
I
him.
know you do. I know.
I have
Megan
I have
too.
one.
Oh, you do? Everybody wants to paint, but it is one of the best models they've released, I think, in the past decade. The base is incredible. Just he looks so
The
cool.
sword is super cool. I like the chains hanging from him. The only thing that I would probably change about him, as far as like base model stuff goes, is I would make those chains actual chains.
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
hear them. I want to see them move.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But that's easy enough to do. You can
Yeah.
go to Michael's and get like hobby
Little-
jewelry. Yeah. So
This paint job is amazing. You're painting a lot of stuff today that is like there's a lot of stuff today that's like dark but well lit.
yeah.
Yeah, this is another one. This looks great.
Yeah.
This is imposing. Scary. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is old. Is this the old Abaddon model? I think.
It looks the same as the.
Is it the same as the new one? Oh, okay.
It looks maybe smaller, but I don't know if it's just like that's how it was photographed or whatever. It is also a blue on blue
Yeah.
model.
I'm actually really into blue and purple together, like
Yeah.
even blue and lavender. That's kind of what's going on here. I kind of like this look.
Yeah.
Yeah. This looks great. I like the purple sword. I like the purple claws.
Yeah.
The cape is like a purple.
It like it's fading into like a lighter at the end. Well, maybe that's just the weathering, but it's like a royal blue purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it looks like they've used the same Green Stuff World grass tufts. One of them that I use on my daughter's a cane. This like light blue. I think it's what it's called, neon stitch or something like that.
Oh.
It has a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The monochrome Abaddon I think is kind of cool, but also the fact that he's blue instead of black. Yeah.
I like it.
Sweet.
Oh. Yeah.
These ones are just super well done.
Yeah, that's
like
I walked in and you had these up and I was like, those look amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a couple different pictures of the entire squad in different formations. I picked this one because of the red helmet. I
Yeah.
thought it was really cool, but all of them are done to the same level, which is very impressive. So,
Yeah, there's almost like nothing to say about this. It's like one of those ones that we talk about. There's one every week where it's just like, wow, this is just really well done.
Yeah.
I would love to play against this army.
Awesome. Cody Bernard.
We've been seeing this Techless has been under. We had him on last week, but Techless himself wasn't there yet. It was just the guy who I forget his real name.
Sphinx.
The Sphinx thing, and I remember it's a name and then the spirit of Hanesh or whatever the name of their Haish, their land
Spirit
is.
of Tulsa.
Spirit, right? I made that joke last week, and Fuchs remember. Good memory, Fuchs. I was like, is that seriously his name? That sounds like a fire truck that got retired or something, right?
Tulsa is also like a city in like Oklahoma or something.
No, that was my joke.
Oh,
My joke was
okay.
like, because his name, this creature's name is like blank, comma, the spirit of. I see. And then always.
I see.
Not Azure. That's the Stormcast world. What is it? Starts with an H. Shyish is the undead one.
Yeah.
What is the? You've been painting them. The elf land. The Lumina.
Lumina.
No, it's not.
Sylvana? Lumina.
Someone's gonna tell me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. That aside, this looks amazing, Cody. Is it finished? I'm thinking yes.
I'm hoping so. Yeah. I just thought it was fantastic. I liked the wings, but if you already commented on that, but Techless is also really well done.
No, Techless wasn't there last week.
Yeah.
Spirit of Tulsa. Now Haish. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you, Dr. Toomer. And thank you for. I've been chatting with Dr. Toomer a little bit about the Sigmar landscape in the Bay Area. Spirit of Haish, and Spirit of Tulsa was the fire wagon for Tulsa, wasn't it? Oh man, Liberty Fires. Oh my God, we always go after Tulsa, and I don't know why. And by we, I mean me. But this model looks great. Lumineth are just like, I stand by what I always say. They're, I think, the most beautiful army GW has made. And man, I do want to get these done sometime, and I don't think I want to do them.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to do them, but I don't want to do that to myself. Oh, we got a little buddy here.
Spots. Yeah.
What do we want to do? Add moderator?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm almost like scared to make that joke. If one person will do that in Titan Studio, it's probably Cat. So I should be careful making that joke. Anyway, super awesome model, super awesome paint job, Cody. Base looks great too.
Yeah.
What is this?
Some sort of like Nurgle-y dude.
Okay. Do I know this model? This looks great. I love like yellow Nurgle.
I just like the little bits on the top.
Yeah, the staff is cool. I love yellow Nurgle.
Yeah, it's super cute. It's just super well done as well too. I also like had to cut this picture down a bit because the actual picture of the model is really small in the actual picture, but also has a very impressive like hobby setup as well too.
Yeah.
So.
What this person chooses to do for the base is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
Right, with yellow like this.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do with like a yellowy?
Honestly, if I was this person, I would probably bring all of this gross goo and just almost continue the model down.
So not a contrast, but like a continuation of the model. That's interesting. I think you need to have an approach in mind before you tackle it.
Yeah.
Whether you want to do contrasting something like a blue crackled earth.
Well, because I feel like how busy this model is, if you try and like make the base stand out from that as well too, it just will detract from
What
it.
if you make the base contrast but simple? Like just light blue sand, like a light.
I just think it'll look off, maybe. I don't know. It would have to make sense, really. But personally, I would just bring the model down into the base. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see it. Yeah, I'm excited to. Please repost whoever this is.
It's the new Nurgle champion from Total War.
Okay. I guess I wouldn't know that, but it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, digital designer.
Yeah.
Just looks great.
This is just awesome. I liked the like silvery blue armor with the yellow like book with the yellow
Yeah, is this like a
robe thing, skirt thing?
Is this like a Primaris Grey Knight that you're doing, digital designer? And is that a candle up top? That's not. Is that candle? No, it's a sword. Is that
It's
a sword
like a
handle?
stick or something with the book on it, I think.
I see the book, but above the book is
this little thing? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'd have to look a bit closer, but we can do that afterwards.
digital designer is also here. Yeah, is this? Are you doing like a Primaris Grey Knight thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've often been wondering if we'd be seeing more of that, and I think it's a good call. The Grey Knight model line is not that old. I think it was redone in like 2010. And I've been wondering if they're going to like Primaris upsize the Grey Knights without actually calling them Primaris. And I think that is what they would want to do if they could. Mm-hmm. That's what they did with Chaos, right? They did upsize them. They just didn't make a big deal out of it like they did with Space Marines. They didn't put a lore reason behind it.
Right.
Right. But it makes sense that Grey Knights are going to get upsized like this. So yeah, I'm into this. Really nice. Are you doing a whole army like this, digital designer? I'm guessing so. You're saying upsized. Oh yeah.
Saying it's a new company champion with some GK bits added on, and the book is from the GK Terminator box. The upsized crow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This will be great. Oh, we've been seeing this guy.
Yeah.
We've been seeing progress on this army.
Yeah.
We're a big fan of this color palette.
I had actually picked a different one of this one, but then later on in the week they posted one with the base, and so I chose the one with the base. But yeah.
And I like it because the base, you'd be like, cool, we're going to introduce a new color. And like, you almost be like, is that right? But it looks good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a Martian Earth sort of thing, but it's like nowhere else on the model is there really like a red. So I think it fits.
This looks great.
Yeah.
I love the red with the teal. And I love the teal going into the blue. It would look less cool if it was the other way around, right? If it was Martian blue, if it was the Martian red, then the blue, then the teal, it wouldn't look as good, I think. The teal on the Martian red is really good. I like it. And then they've got the actual green tufts. Like, I love this because, like, it can be hard to pull this off where you're like, cool, I'm going to keep adding colors.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be excited to play against this army.
I want to see a whole army like this.
Same.
Yeah. So I think it would look really cool on a table. Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome. Really nice stuff. Hey, we've cut some pink foam.
Yes.
Oh, we have super chats. We have
Yes,
super chats.
yes, we do.
That would have been a disaster. Let's get through some. Yeah. Oh, if we do real quick while we get it, I can share what I did and what I'm gonna have to redo.
Sure.
Do a little thank you, Kat. Okay, maybe zoom. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, so here's what I've got. Pretty cool. There's a lot I could actually do with this. Now, the cutout thing I have helps me. This was the test one, and this one actually came out better than all the ones I did here today. They're a little rough, and I'm actually thinking I'll probably recut these, make another set of them, and I might now that I've got this going. This is gonna be a very purple board. And we're gonna use the purple mat that we use. They're actually gonna use it tomorrow on Tabletop Titan. So if you're not sure what purple mat I'm talking about, it's that one. So this is going to be like a very purple kind of city, like subterranean kind of city of purple rock and stuff. And I actually think these painted kind of gold could be cool, with the candles down in here, like they're like gold lattice thing that was put in here. So I'm not sure. If I'm going to use them, I'll need to make new ones. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Let's take a closer look at Kat's pillar. Yeah. Pillars are these. Oh, I broke it.
Oh.
Yeah, these are a little fragile. They are very fragile. And actually, I have a bunch of different templates to cut different types of pillars. The ones I did on the board that I showed at the start of the episode have one kind of fragile point.
Yeah.
But this one's fragile point is pretty fragile.
Yeah.
So I might not use
Especially
these.
with just the 1 inch thick ones. I want to say maybe with the 2 inch thick pink foam, it might be a bit better.
Yeah. But they don't make a lot of templates for that, actually.
No. But I mean, I think maybe this would fit one. Like a 2 inch thick one, maybe?
No.
Perhaps? I don't know.
I don't know, maybe. It might. And there's also other things I can do. So, wait, why? don't know if I'll actually put these on top. But one thing I did do, so I used the smaller versions of these for my Daughters of Cain, and one thing that makes these look even more cool, unless there's something on top of them, is to then cut out like a little rectangle and set it right there. It gives it like it just gives it like a little bit more like feeling of being complete. To just put like a little like 1/4 inch tall square on top, or like rectangle, like yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Liberty Fires. Fugs.
Shout out to Fuchs from Liberty Fires.
Wow.
Love it.
Thank you again, Liberty Fires. Cat, thinking about an Iron Warriors and Red Corsairs paint scheme, do you think a dull silver/gray iron as the main color would be okay with red trim? 100%. 100%. Because the thing with iron is that when it rusts red, specifically.
Now, what kind of red would you use? Like
I don't know, anything.
Like
honestly.
real crimson, or would you go more like cool, like magenta-y almost? Or?
I prefer almost like a maroon red, just in general. Okay. But any red I think would be great with a silver gray color. I think that'd be fantastic. Because if you wanted to weather it, you could use an iron rust red.
That's almost easy enough to test, right? Liberty Fire's like, just get it down on paper and even see what you like better. Or even use like a color palette tool. Yeah. You would see what you want better.
Even like a warm gray would be good as well too. I like that a lot with red. I think that would be fantastic because you get the warmth from the red into the like iron color.
Yeah.
I think that would be really, really awesome. I'd love to see that. So, yeah.
Thanks again, Noah. Here is some more money for all the helpful advice. Like Zach, I spent a whole summer at a summer camp perfecting the s'more. A Reese's Peanut Butter Cup was my favorite chocolate with it. Thanks again. Oh. Yeah, I have to imagine it's good. I really am not sure I've ever done it. I'm also like a big fan of like mounds and almond joy. Well, almond joy might not be weird. What might be weird with the almond ending up in there, but like, yeah, you can do some pretty wild stuff with s'more.
So actually, funnily enough, this weekend, my friends and I were just kind of sitting around, literally after we ate, just talking about more food, and we're ranking like top 5 chocolate bars, and we were very specific about like
the brand and stuff.
You can only get them, like what you are choosing from, you have to be able to get at a store. Okay. Not just like, oh, I found this one time, like at this one place, or whatever. So, or it's from this restaurant, kind of thing. And I wanna say that Snickers was on all of ours, so I kind of want to try a Snickers with a s'more.
Again, I'm worried about the nuts ending up in there because of the texture. But it could be interesting. But the graham crackers are already there for like that texture. I'd be kind of interested in maybe like a Three Musketeer, which is similar to s'mores, but without the nuts.
Or a Milky Way.
A Milky Way's in the middle. That's right. That's the one in the middle.
Three Musketeer has like that mousse chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that chocolatey nougat stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So awesome. Now I kind of want a s'more. So thank you.
Thank you also, Kenrick. Oh wait, did we do this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kat, Zach, you're the best. Wow, that's very nice of you, Kenrick. Thank you. Thanks for everything. I'm looking to start a new AOS army. I have Stormcast, Eternals, and Nighthaunt. What armies inspire you? I'm looking at Seraphon and Kharadron Overlords.
Open to all suggestions.
Open to all suggestions. Kind of interestingly enough, someone made one of those like goofy quizzes that's like, what AOS army should you? It's like, what AOS army are you? And like, whenever people make those quizzes, they do it in this way that like some of the answers feel a little leading, like you can tell it's going.
Are you into trees? Like, would you rather be in the forest or would you rather be in the city?
Right, exactly.
Like, okay, that's
and
leading
literally
into,
the second question is like, what's your take on nature? And there's like a few different options. And it's out there. I'm not sure I would use it to actually pick your AOS army.
It'd be fun. Ooh, or like what zodiac sign are you? And that chooses your...
That chooses your AOS army. And
What's
that's
your,
it. It's just that. It's just zodiac.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone with the same
What
zodiac.
day were you born? That's it.
Every
Yeah.
Virgo plays Sylvaneth. It's just a fact. You have to.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you, what AOS armies you have not played, but visually, like what makes you just be like, yes?
Well, obviously Gloomspite.
Gloomspite, yeah.
Was a big one for me, but Night Haunt when they came out was
Nighthaunt.
huge because I'm really into like ghosts and skeletons and all that other stuff. But
They said they had
Nighthaunt.
Stormcast and Nighthaunt.
What
Which makes sense because that was a box set a little while back. Stormcast and Nighthaunt. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree, like Nighthaunt.
Seraphon.
So Nighthaunt is so real quick we'll talk about Nighthaunt, but obviously it's not helpful for you, Kenrick. But it is a beautiful army. When I took the quiz, I got my first result was Nighthaunt, and then Megan was taking the quiz and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to pick this answer." I was like, "Wait, where was that answer?" And it was like, I forget what it was. I went back and like selected that answer, and then it actually that one answer changed it to Daughters of Cain, which is what I mostly play. I was like, "Whoa, that's funny." Again, probably not the best way to pick your army, but it is a very cool army, and it does paint. It does take. You can paint this army very easily with some interesting techniques, and they'll go a long way.
The Night Haunt?
Yeah.
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 Especially if you're airbrushing. Anyway, Kenrick, not helpful to you because you already have Stormcast and Nighthaunt.
So we've talked about how beautiful Lumineth are.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, sometimes they feel a little bit too uptight.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And this is a big thing, right? Like, why are you picking an army? And we always talk about this. Is it like, someone was asking this in Tabletop the other day. There's like a combination of like lore, background, play style,
Model.
and what the model line looks
Yeah.
like, right? So Lumineth, too uptight for you.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful, but they're a little bit too uptight
They
for
are
me.
uppity.
Like, I like to have fun, and I like weathering.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I've talked about how it's like, oh, I made a mistake, and I'm going to hide it here. But I feel like that tells a story better than like, look at this beautiful, pristine perfectness, which I find goes really well with Lumineth. I'd want to see like some grungy Lumineth. I think that would be really cool. But
Yeah.
yeah. Other than Gloomspite, Sylvaneth.
Sylvaneth, yeah. You can do some cool stuff. Oh man, that's a very hard question. So like, look, let me tell you between Seraphon and the Caradron. I think Seraphon is up there with Lumineth. I want to see some new Saurus models, which are the big lizard men, not the little skinks. The skinks are mostly new. You're not going to see any new skink sculpts anytime soon. You probably will see some new Saurus, the bigger guys, soon. And then as far as playstyle goes, they're one of these armies that have a lot of options for playstyle. I think there are a few armies like that where you can Orc War Clans are the other one. Especially if you're open to the different Orc War Clans, like you want to get some Cruel Boys, you want to get some Iron Jaws. I think Orc War Clans are like a good suggestion for anyone. The book is tight, meaning it is like, it's easy to read, it's easy to follow. You pick your Cruel Boys or your Iron Jaws, or you pick your Savage Boys, or you split it all up. The play styles are kind of all over the place. If you do like Iron Jaws, you get your Iron Jaws army, and then down the road you're like, ooh, I might do some Cruel Boys, toss some Cruel Boys. You can get a lot of Cruel Boys for cheap because they're also in a box set.
Idoneth.
I was talking about Idoneth last night.
Yeah.
I love Idoneth. It's definitely an army in my pipeline.
Yeah.
I was telling, I love the lore behind them, in which like everyone forgets about them. So like when you're fighting them, you can only shoot the closest unit because you forget that the other ones are back there.
Oh, okay, that's cute.
Yeah, because that's like they send out like this like magic energy that like kind of makes you forget about them and like not be aware that they're around. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I just think that like with all of the little like resin base bits and stuff that are out there, I know there's like a bunch of like coral ones as well too. You can make them like super fun.
Melanie did that with hers, and they look amazing. There's I forget the name of the company. I always forget this company, but they have exactly what you're saying, little 3D printed bits.
Make it epic or whatever.
Yes, yeah. And that's it. And yeah, they look killer. Deepkin, just like, it's a beautiful army. Yeah, Clavin, you're right. I know. Seraphon is another army. Honestly, I love all the Order armies. Caradon Overlords are super cool too. They're the steampunky dwarves.
We're just gonna list every single one of them. But
I know.
I want to say top 3 would be Gloomspite.
Okay, your top 3. Gloomspite?
Yeah, Gloomspite.
Sylvaneth, you said?
Sylvaneth, and then Night Haunt. But if I can't choose Night Haunt, then Idoneth.
I know. Okay. Seraphon is probably among my top 3 for sure. Oh man, other destruction armies, other death armies. I like Bone Reapers. I have a Bone Reapers assembled army. I need to get painting it. I will be doing that fairly soon. Bone Reapers are very cool. Seraphon, Bone Reapers, and yeah, maybe Idoneth. I might be with you on that. I think. Yeah.
So there's our top 3. If we can't pick like Night Haunt, because I really like Night Haunt.
Yeah.
But,
Lore-wise,
yeah.
they're cool. Visually, they're cool. Playstyle, they're very unique. There's no other army really like them. There's no other army that always gets a save and always flies. It really doesn't exist. They have 2 very weirdly unique things. I will say one kind of funny thing. Whenever I play a Night Haunt player in a competitive match, they really tend to overestimate how long their army can survive. That 4-up save, like if you're relying on like a 50-50 chance that anytime a model gets attacked living, they disappear quicker. Like, because you're like, okay, like the math doesn't quite work out because you're like, I've got 10 models. Okay, now roll 30 dice. It's like, ooh, the math is not great for you right here, right? So like, it's kind of interesting. Now I will say, last thing I'm trying to think based on your play styles of Stormcast and Night Haunt. No, Night Haunt is a totally unique play style. Stormcast honestly is too. I think, here's my final pick. An army, my first AOS army, Ogres, and go Mega Beast Claw Raiders. Because that is a play style that's very different from what you have. It's just like no shooting, you just absolutely run. You could do this also with Iron Jaws and take a lot of Gorguntas and just like run at your opponent. It is so fun. It's really fun to play armies where you have to like think. But then like it's not fun. It's rewarding.
Yeah.
But every now and then, I'm just like, you know what?
I just want to go.
I think like after Nova,
after
Nova and in between SoCal, if I do any RTTs, I'm not gonna take Daughters. I'm gonna take Beast Claw Raiders and I'm just gonna smash in. And see what happens. Yeah. So it's a different play style and it's like it's fun.
I would agree. I have 2 main like Magic Commander decks. One that I have to constantly be thinking about, like what's my next move, and then what's my next move after that,
and then one's big,
and then one that's just like I'm just gonna attack your face, and then, and it's like I don't have the energy to play this other one. I'm gonna do this one. So depending on what you want, really. If you want to go for play style, obviously I don't know anything about that, so I'm just basing mine off of like model.
But I do think like people, I do like the idea of like, it was rewarding to me when I don't have a 40k army that's just like smash you in your face really. But it is rewarding to have that style army because it's, and you know, like everyone always comments, orc players always seem to be having the most fun at these events, right? And it's just fun.
But it is, I would agree, rewarding where like if I get this certain combination off, then like all of everything else has paid off at this point. So, you know, I agree. But I kind of do want to see some grungy Lumineth now. So, you know, if anyone has some Lumineth models, you should grunge them up.
They have so many robes.
Yeah.
And
I want to see some.
Like at least around the bottom would be cool. I think our friend Andrew Whitehead's doing that on the ones he's been painting. Like a little bit of mud around the bottom.
No.
You want to see like just total.
Yeah. Or like emo Lumineth, I think would be really fun. Or punk Lumineth, I think that would be awesome.
It'd be cool to do a bunch of different stuff on their robes, like different designs or patterns.
Yeah. I want to see colors other than white and like soft blue. I want to see like red and black and, you know, green. Well, like I don't know, not a soft like jade or sage green, but like, you know, like
vivid,
like a neon green. I think that would be fun. Man, I might change my answer. Anyway, hopefully this helps, and hopefully we didn't just
look. We answered a lot. That might make the answer worse, though.
Yes,
Because we almost gave him too much to think about.
Yeah. You have a plethora of choices that you can make.
We think you got your money's worth, but maybe too much.
Thank you, the Steel Yard.
Oh boy, these are always good.
If GW decided to make an epic scale for AOS, what factions or units are you most looking forward to painting or playing?
Epic, the super tiny. And then they have a 4K. Right, it doesn't make sense. But the reason it's called that is because then you have instead of having the equivalent of
I've seen them.
You have millions, not millions, but you have instead of having 50 guys on the battlefield, you have technically 250 or 500.
Yeah. Honestly, I would do Sylvaneth.
Just a swarm of tree men.
I don't know if I would
people, little tree guys.
I'd want to kit bash them. Have you ever played Pikmin? Oh, so it was a game.
A video game?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It was a game that came out a long time ago. But in Pikmin, you had these little tiny dudes, but they all had leaves or flowers sticking out of their heads. Just one leaf or one flower.
This visually sounds
or something, but
to
they
me.
look little.
I think I've seen Pikmin. I've seen Minions. I see Minions every day. But I never have watched Despicable Me. It's kind of like that. I know what you're describing. I know the little guy.
Yeah.
He's a little plant dude with another little. He's a little plant, and then has another plant coming out.
Or he's a root or something. I don't know. Just something like that. Yeah. I would want to make little Pikmin in epic scale Sylvaneth. I know that's not what they look like, but I think that would be super cute.
I think my answer. This is hard. I think my answer, because I will say honestly, I'm going to answer, but I'm not in love with this scale.
Epic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not in love with it. When I look at 40K epic armies, people get really excited about epic. I always look at it. I'm like, okay. It feels it's lost visually. It's lost, right? And what makes it exciting is, I think this is a game that is it's less for people who like the visual component of an individually painted model, and more for sitting and looking at all the impressive work you've done, which is cool. But for me, when you get down and look at the guys, they're tiny. The detail is trimmed back, of course.
Yeah. I think it's fun, and I wouldn't kit bash these guys. I would probably find someone who could 3D print them or something. But just to think about Pikmin Sylvaneth. I know that doesn't answer your question at all whatsoever, but I think that would be really cute.
For whatever reason, I think the one army that you could make. So, okay, I will say about Epic, one of the things that appeals to me maybe is, since you have them on these little platforms with little guys, I think an army that would be cool is wherever you can almost weave terrain into the army, so that your little platform that all the guys are on is part of the army. And maybe even in the case of infantry, when you've got 20 little dudes or 10 little dudes, maybe it almost overshadows it. The block of terrain. I know. And I think the army that I would do this with and still be able to have kind of big things is Seraphon, because I could do this jungle green and then have them in their vivid turquoise and orange, and you'd see them kind of in there, but they'd also be blended. And then meanwhile, the bigger dinosaurs would be there on their own and stick out a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna change it to Idoneth.
For a similar reason.
If we're talking about basing and stuff like that.
You can have them some of them coming out of the water. You can. I think for me that's what makes Epic interesting. Is same with the movement blocks and rank and flanking, Conquest, right? Conquest, I want to get in there and I want to make that whole thing the story.
Yeah.
Every unit is a little diorama.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing with Conquest too, is because you have them on the circle bases, which then you can use for First Blood and stuff like that. But then you can jazz up the whole square base movement tray sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that is what would appeal to me in Epic, if I'm honest. Awesome. Hey, did we do it?
Yeah.
Folks, super grateful for you to come along. Did something a little different. We didn't touch paint today.
No.
This might be a first,
yeah.
actually. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Anything else, Kat? What do you got going on?
Well, thank you for walking me through my first
Your first pink foam.
hot wire cutting.
Yeah. Hot wire cutting, yeah.
Yeah.
This guy, maybe next time.
It's a bit intimidating, I will say.
In some ways, it's easier to. I don't know. But you do get a sense, like, it reminds you of a table saw. So you feel like if you cut yourself, like, you just have images of just like, zoop, there goes my thumb. I don't know if it would cut a whole thumb. I don't think it would go through bone.
I would hope not. I doubt it. I doubt it, but I'm sure
We can find out next
Stay
time.
tuned. Next time on
Hot
Coffee Titans.
Thank you all. As we like to say, be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, and always be creating. See you guys.